share your link.
Hey, we are live. Today is the 21st of December, 2018, Friday the 21st. Hello, chat room, everybody in the chat room. Got a very exciting evening this evening. We've got truth talks. We've got the people doing the truth talks on the panel. We've got Nicolas with us, our Patricia, Flat Earth Dude. There's Martin Liedtke, Trinity4, and Cosmic Kat. Woo!
Yay.
Hey.
Hey.
And we're hanging out.
We're hanging out. Let's hang out.
Yeah.
Let's just turn this off a second.
So this hangout originally, well, obviously Martin's joined us now as well, but the hangout was to talk a bit about truth talks, which you're having once a month. The next one is the 27th of December, isn't it? First 10 people, isn't it? First 10 people, 20 people get something. But anyway, do explain it a bit.
Well, I'll let the ladies go first.
Well, what happened was at the Globe Lie end of year tour, I met Dave, and it turns out we lived in the same area, South London, and my sister's got a pub in Greenwich, and we thought, hang on, let's do a meet-up. And then it turned into a monthly meet-up, and hopefully it'll grow and grow.
Yeah, well, Kat and I have got a lot of similar energy and similar thoughts, and Kat's been involved in activism. Oh, there's Andrea.
Hi.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi. I've just got Alexander to sleep, so
Oh.
I can join now.
Hi.
Yeah. So we were on pretty much a similar sort of set of thoughts. We've been doing the activism, wanting to take things to the next step, and wanting to have conversations with people that have already started to, the process of shedding the bullshit of the system. So, this has been part of our ambition, is to try and have people that we can have conversations with beyond the initial, that water's flat conversation. Yeah. And this is what the Truth Talks became about, was the opportunity to maybe start sharing stuff with people where they weren't going to shut the door straight away on us, because this is what we found with the activism, is that, some people might listen for a while, but it's not long before they call you crazy or walk away. And so we wanted to find a different way, a different tack. Yeah.
We also wanted to bring people to us that wanted to, rather with activism, you're going into the street and or the public, and you're kind of trying to argue most of the time with people to kind of get them to listen to you. Whereas in this situation, we're inviting people who want to have those conversations to come to us and have conversations. And we'd met people that said that they couldn't have conversations with their family or with friends, or
We all know people like that.
or with people they worked with, because they would look at them as if they were crazy or whatever, and just shut the conversation down. And so we were like, well, let's hold a space where people can come and talk to like-minded or awake, or whatever you want to call them, people who are seeking their own truth, or their path of truth, or whatever. And they can do it in a space where everybody's there for the right reasons, instead of on the street where you're kind of trying to bash them over the head with truth. And a lot of the time get a lot of negative energy thrown back at you. So this was something a little bit more positive.
Andrea also mentioned something else when you were talking in your little video, that it's emotional.
Yes. It's incredibly emotional. And, and I think when you're out on the street, you're taking on the negative emotions of people when they're not wanting to hear what you've got to say. It's different when you're online in this kind of forum, because you can kind of shield yourself, and you can, you're in kind of a protected situation. When you're out there on the street, you're feeling the energy, the real energy, and a lot of the time it's quite harsh. And we're at the point now where we want to, of course, we want to help people see the truth, but come to me if you want come to me if you want to speak to the truth and not speak the truth, and not we're going there to try and bash you over the head, because the cognitive dissonance out there is alive and well, and you know, and it's
tell me about it.
We know that.
yeah, it's quite a tough place to be when you're doing activism on the street, and it does weigh you down.
Sure.
And you know, I know some people can do it, and you know, and we've all got a role to play, but we just felt that we wanted to go to a slightly softer place and a more emotive place.
An emotive place, and emotion is motion, and we've been wanting to create motion the whole time, you know. I mean, this is what activism was all about. It was, you know, we've seen all this fantastic stuff. I mean, aside from, you know, the newer stuff that's coming out, we'd seen so much stuff about this is what flat Earth is, you know, this is how we prove it, and so on. And this year, 2018, was very much a change in pace, where we wanted to get out there and do something, and the activism very much filled that void, that space for us.
We also wanted to have more conversations than flat Earth, because I think there comes a point where you've got to stop having that conversation. You know, yes, people have to come to that conversation, but
Yeah, well, we came through that.
Yes,
We came through that
yes.
this year ourselves anyway. We
Yes.
went through the we walked over the coals of going down into the street and talking to people, and there's definitely a place for that. But for us, you can't stand on the coals forevermore. You know, you need to kind of move on to the other side. And for us, it was about, so how do we start to connect with people that aren't fighting us, but rather wanting to share, you know, realizing that this is some grand game, and that there is much more to be gained by coming together, sharing information, rather than battering people over the head with flat Earth. And in my case, you know, I spent quite a lot of Sundays this year in Speaker's Corner, and you know, the people that are doing the most battering over the heads are like the Muslim dudes and maybe the Christian dudes a bit, or maybe the black dudes. You know, these are the people that they got such a big axe to grind.
Good old Hegelian dialect in perfect motion, you know.
They can't hear anything else. All they want to do is to carry on that argument. And you know, I have to respect that. In my own personal life, my own family, I've had to respect that. People are not wanting to hear. They're not wanting to leave Disneyland, and they want to continue living and believing that this is all true, and that Santa comes down the chimney.
They're not wanting to hear, you know.
And that's okay.
That bloody mindedness.
Yeah, I think there comes a point though where you also have to sort of say, well, I got to stand in my truth, and that energy that I'm going to give off, or that light that I'm going to give off, is going to attract the people that want to know more, rather than. So it's almost like, you know, doing the work on yourself, and then from that, or walking your own path of truth, and from that, people will come and want to talk to you about it, and
not treat you like a nutcase.
Because there's only so much that you can like, again, I said there's a place for all sorts of activism. We just wanted to do something slightly softer, and Kat was when she came along, your energy, Kat, is just amazing.
Cosmic.
Yeah, she's amazing. She brings this kind of energy to the room, and it was just an amazing collaboration, really.
Perfect.
Well, I just find it so exciting to be with like-minded people, and hopefully grow and grow. But after the first Truth Talks, I went to an Organite fair, and there was a big jar that said pick a good thought. So I picked this bit of paper out, and it said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Hey.
Yeah. There'll be some people who don't like the word citizen, but yeah.
Sorry, I was just saying, this is Kat's, or Cosmic Kat's, first hangout.
Yes, my first hangout. It's all very
Like-
exciting. First
Like a
of many.
virgin.
That's
Yes,
mine, and
this
I
is
don't
the
even have
first.
any
This is
email.
the first.
Wow,
And
all
also-
that talent.
And
You
she's
know
also a
Martin.
virgin. So.
You know
Many more
Martin
to come.
quite well, don't you?
You look really happy. That's good.
Yeah. And you know Martin quite well, don't you, Cosmic Kat?
Yes, I love Martin.
He's epic.
We met at Leamington Spa. I met you as well, Karen, didn't I, last
Yeah,
year?
I did. I met you there.
That was a great day, wasn't it?
It was epic, wasn't it?
Really.
Under that tree. Wow. Music and all sorts. You reading your poetry. It was
I
such a
know. Yeah,
such
you
a
made
rich cultural moment for all of us.
It was superb. But look how you've come on leaps and bounds, Martin. You are really
I'm
kicking it.
upside down. It turns up in my comments yesterday. They said you'd be cloned. I was like, no, I haven't. You're completely different than 3 years ago. I was like, duh, yeah. Like, completely. A lot's happened since then.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, well, here we are.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've come a long way, all of us together, though, the same ride, you know. We've all developed at the same time together, I reckon. You know, this
Well-
vibrational lift, I think we've all met it
Yeah.
at the same time, a lot of us, definitely.
Well,
I'm
look,
all
guys.
ready for the next.
Yeah, you know what, Martin? I think the thing is that we are actually, once we get past like I mean, I love all that, you know, your mud flood stuff, and you know, I've done some videos myself on it, but
Yeah.
and Tartaria is really exciting to me. But I, you know, and I was all about flat Earth a few years ago, and even at the beginning, perhaps of this year. But I do know now that a part of my growth and our growth, we have to realize that all of these things are the distractions that have been stopping us from doing the internal inner growing. And I think that this is why I feel I'm able to or capable to offer something like Truth Talks now. And I think probably, I don't want to speak for Kat or Andrea, but you know, I sense that they probably feel the same way, is that we've come so far on our journey, still got so far to go, but we've come so far that we can kind of
Share.
actually offer something more than
Yeah.
just fight in the street. Because it's great to have the fight in the street, and I've done one or two of myself, you know, and you know, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, but I think that that what they want me to do is stand in the street and fight. But what I want to
Yeah.
do is be a light, help others be a light,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
bring
I
more
agree.
truth out, more whatever, and not be the insane guys, you know.
Like your wife said, you get that energy thing, Dave, you know, and when you're meeting them, you know, you got that energy exchange, you could draw you, you know, you'd be like, you know, you
Magnetized.
feel weak at the end of it
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
Drake.
you, at the end of the day, Martin, you know, I mean, I know we've met, so, but I know that you obviously have a role to play, and I can see that you are evolving and developing, and this is actually our own evolution, our own higher evolution. If there is an evolution,
Yeah.
it's in the inner evolution from being a lower chakra dweller
I
to
agree
a higher
completely.
chakra or more balanced
Yeah.
soul. Yeah.
Yeah, my higher self is definitely pleased at the moment. I can feel I'm in
Glad to hear
charge.
it. I know you and I and others have all got our own kind of this world bullshit to deal with, you know, that can sometimes derail us from that kind of.
That's why we're all attracted to sun and moon. We all seem to have very, very similar mindsets, and we all seem to come here. Bless you, Karen.
Yeah,
Oh,
Karen.
to go
Awesome
back.
job this year. No
Connecting
bullshit, no
everyone.
drama, just good information, good people. You know,
Good
I remember
people.
Midsummer, that was like a seminal moment in Flat Earth. You had everyone through you. Remember Russian vids and Crow and everybody who was anybody came through this hangout in one day,
Yeah.
and you kept it going the whole time. Remember that, Karen?
Yeah, that was our first year party.
Wow,
Yeah.
what an achievement that was to keep that together. I was like, it all. I was
Yeah.
like, wow.
But
But
we're
also,
extending-
we go through so many depressing times being a flat earther. So to have the sun and moon to turn to just lifts you back up, you know.
Well,
knowing
it's just nice to communicate.
Yeah,
with
we love the
with
community.
everybody, you know?
No, well, I mean, it has to be said, of course, that this channel, Sun and Moon Family, has done amazing things in bringing people together. And
Yeah.
Karen, you have to be credited for that for sure.
The right
So-
people.
So,
Can I just say something? I think that, I mean, that's what Truth Talks is born out of, really,
Yeah.
because we now are taking that momentum and just using it as an opportunity to meet in person. So it's an extension of what's been done online. You know,
because one of the hardest things to do is to break from this wonderful medium that we've all been given, you know, to do it online, and to take it to people that are not normally reached in this way, you know, because it can seem a little bit kind of a control pool. When once we get out in the street and we're talking to people, then yes, we are meeting new people.
Echo chamber.
and so by the Truth Talks model, it's more than a hangout with just flat earthers. It's more trying to kind of bring regular other folks in on things that they might be willing to hear about.
Well, that's what it's about. It's deconstructing
medicine.
the construction. It doesn't matter really
No,
what
that makes
angle
sense.
you're coming from, you know.
Otherwise, what's the point? No, I'm completely on with you, Dave, for that. That's brilliant. Bring them in and just have... Everyone has got a story to tell. I think this, when I walk down the street, all these different families, all with their different stories to tell. So many of them. Everyone unique in a specific way. It's just incredible.
Well, that's it. We've got an open mic on the 27th for people to just tell their story. And after that, we'll have guest speakers every month, different topics.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Bring people together, bring interesting and unique subjects that you will just not get from any normal speakeasy. I mean, we're cutting edge thinking, aren't we?
Yeah.
But at the same time, keeping it real and authentic, because there's no point in making it about bullshit again.
No, man.
So we have to make sure that those people that are coming to speak, everybody's on their part of their journey. That's fair enough. We haven't all discovered the truth, the real.
And people are at many very different levels, and coming from very different belief systems and different approaches.
Everyone got a common ground, though.
Yeah.
We're not moving.
Finding that.
We're not moving.
We're not moving.
No, we're not moving.
We're cosmic. We're cosmic.
Yeah.
I always say
energy beings.
I always say flat Earth is a big part of the puzzle, but it's not the only part of the puzzle.
No.
It's the board the game is played on.
We as a panel, though, we have decided that we're here for the people. Not everybody's the same, and some people are more religious, some people aren't. Whatever, we're generally almost all together, except for tiny little bits which will come out in the future, won't it? But anyway, we just have to stay open because we don't know anything for sure ourselves. So how can we fight this? That's just saying, my mum was trying to tell me, I know we're a ball. I know.
It is a ball.
Haven't we been treated bad enough as it is?
Yeah, but I think what I see is that people are Stockholm syndrome or some kind of fear factor that stops us from broaching outside. It was hard. I'll be honest. When 3 or 4 years ago, I was concerned about are the CIA watching the stuff that I write on YouTube? And of course, I didn't know anything back then. I was watching Red Silver J and maybe even Alex Jones or whatever, and thinking, well, I'm really so what I've had friends who've said, oh, I'll turn up to Truth Talks and haven't quite made it. And I think it's just that fear of coming out into the light. So what we're trying to do, and so I'm grateful for the airtime that you've given us, Karen, is that...
Can I say something? I had a social club myself here 10 years ago. It was called Meeting Place. And the idea was it was about networking. It was about trying to get people to come together. So it didn't matter if you were a male or a female or 20 or 60. It was about getting people out. And even that, I realized that most people don't get a hug. I used to give everybody a hug. We used to have quiz nights, go to the theatre, go to the pictures. It was just, we did loads of different things. But again, a lot of them said that even though they wanted to join the group, that they sometimes would walk past for a few weeks outside the window before they came in.
Yeah, get that Dutch courage.
Yeah,
and that's all we really need to do, is because people came out and spoke on YouTube first. Then certain people like Josh and Harry went out into the street and were doing stuff, and that kind of pushed that on. So and then people were doing meetups and this Truth Talks is like trying to encourage others to take that next step of, you know, trying to broach it, bring other people, just regular Joes in, because we haven't told anybody
so much
yet.
just by talking with each other. We just bounce off each other. You can learn and discover so much, you know.
And having a hug, a heart-to-heart
Oh,
hug.
I'm so hugless right now.
Oh,
Sorry, we could give you a virtual hug, I guess.
Yeah, the one thing that I've said is that this wake up, though, it is very deep, isn't it? It's a very deep wake up because it just covers absolutely everything. We've got Martin here. He's talking about mud floods and all that kind of stuff. So there's just so much, and it's such an intellectual and deep thing. I just think a lot of people can't even handle that.
No.
I covered cymatics today on my. I thought, like, I like to chuck a lot of different stuff in, but I thought, you know, this fact I've been practicing since before Flat Earth, where, you know, we're mostly made of water, and basically we can, you know, interact with particles or literally change the atomic structure by intent. Okay, this is why you know, if you say disgusting things to water, it turns into a disgusting gloopy mess.
That guy, wasn't
Or
there?
exhibit a beautiful
Moto.
snowdrop. So, you know, I've known this, so I've done it to my food, my water, structured it myself, and people are exactly the same. Which is why we should be treating one another civilly, talking to one another civilly, and expressing ourselves differently to one another. This is what is going wrong out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we're way more powerful, which is probably the biggest cover up. Is we're way more powerful than we realize.
Agreed, 100%.
And actually, it's our ego that is the one that tells us we're not. I was listening to someone I follow, and she was saying that your ego should be your servant and not your master.
Hallelujah.
And actually, it's, you know, that really we. If we tap into the energy that is available to us, and that being from our heart space, which again is our emotion, we're incredibly powerful beings, and yes, we can actually change structure. We can
change the world because we're actually doing it. We're like changing history.
We can heal ourselves. I mean, that's all the truth. But we're so dumbed down and not accessing the fullest of our being. So,
well, if we heal ourselves, we're not going to be giving Big Pharma any money, are we? Keep them down.
I didn't catch that.
No, apart from us, and we carry that through our children. You know, our knowledge, we pass it on. We bring up our children in a way that we think is wholesome and the right way. You know.
Well, you say that, Nicolas. I brought up my two daughters. They're in their 20s now, but because I was awake as a child, I knew something was really off, and I didn't believe the news. And when my children were growing up, I used to drink quite a bit because I was so depressed, and it was my escapism. So I wasn't able to be the best cosmic mum I could have been. I'm now a grandmother, and things will be different.
Yeah.
And got that glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a grandma too. I get called Nanny Granny by one of them. Nanny Granny.
Well, I'm Cat Nan. Once she learns to speak.
The other little one goes, Nana, Nana.
And when you're asleep, you're catnap.
Indeed.
I think though with children, the most important thing is if you are doing the work on yourself as the adult, because if you are being, you know, the truth, the light, whatever, then, you know, they can only learn from that. So
well, what I think they learnt from, instead of me, was the television, and now they're unapproachable and think I'm absolutely crackers.
Yeah.
Bad, isn't it?
Well, they've been programmed, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been programmed.
Pull them out of school, home educate them, get them away from the telly.
Yeah.
Martin, you'll be an interesting study on this, because I don't know if it's changed. Your YouTube channel has shot through the roof in the last little while, right? So I was wondering whether.
Congratulations, Martin.
Yeah, I was wondering because you've also got family who think you're nuts, right? So I was wondering.
But they've always thought that. Nothing's different.
So But I was wondering whether it changed like the dynamic for you, like that if you have people saying, oh, like you got 500 people following you, or you got 15,000 people following you, people are gonna go, oh shit, that's something to be taken seriously, And has it changed anything for you yet? Because I'm asking the question because.
Well, on a personal level, you mean? Like,
Yes.
do I think about it, or am I just
no?
I sort of disconnect because I just get on with my own thing, keeping the sort of show together, really, and checking out everybody, doing all the good works we do all day. I don't have time to think about myself really much.
No, I was meaning more like if say my dad had to say, oh, so you've got a YouTube channel, son, what's that all about? You got 500 followers. He would laugh at that, right?
Well, no, they're proud. My family are proud. My extended family, not at first, because they were like giving me hell, ridiculing me in public and things like this. 50 I had 50 on me at a funeral. I videoed it and posted it.
No
I was
way.
I was going to fill a guy in, and basically they ordered me to shut it down. My own family, but since then, they've watched my content. I have my recently, my cousin came up to me and said that we're playing your videos in high school. So what?
Wow.
Other high schools, Willow's High School in Cardiff. So the teacher is well into my work apparently, and
amazing.
As well.
And that's really insightful, because you see, I think that like the Truth Talks, we will hopefully in a year's time say we're doing this, people will be paying a lot more attention and they'll take it more seriously, because they'll be like, shit, these guys are talking about stuff that's starting to come out in the news, because I don't watch the news, but I think that things are crumbling as we would.
Yeah, they're changing daily on Google as well. The daily feed is responding. I follow the British Library, and all of a sudden they're posting the similar stuff as well we're posting.
Really?
I mean, giants, Tech, and all these subjects.
Wow.
And I've been following them for years, never seen a scrap of it. All of a sudden they released 98 catalogues this week.
We are Disclosure.
All the giants and stuff. It's just crazy.
Wow.
The truth community
so this stuff is disclosure.
It's disclosure.
Really.
I show you today, because I'm spread today. I can believe it. It's like giants. It's just incredible.
So maybe there's a time when all of the discomfort of being the people talking the truth, it'll come around. It'll be like, okay, so you guys, we're gonna listen to you now. So in that case, it's been my thinking is that then we must have our shit together. We must be approachable. We must be worth listening to, because if people are coming to you in the numbers they are. I saw how many people watched Max Egan's show, that it's created so much of this fuss or this attention, this interest. And if that's the thing, that sort of stuff that's going to happen, then people need good places to come, well-researched guys that have got their shit together.
Somebody dropped me David. It's going to get bigger than Max. I had a link somebody dropped me this morning. So I gave you a shout last night on Fireside Chat, and I watched the last 10 minutes. The guy is like that on the microphone. With his mouth on the floor, like really, you just know for a fact he's writing it all down that he's going to go in a mud flood. So I think it's just cause of Max, and it's just extended from that. I think the whole thing will just go into this field. I really do, and then it'll filters back to us.
I think though that there is this mass awakening happening anyway. So people are seeking the truth, because I'm seeing it anyway, just in like small ways, and not in necessarily the flat earth arena. And people are just they're hungry for, put it this way, they're realizing that they can't trust the system anymore. And so where do they
mainstream, aren't they?
Yeah. So where do they turn to? And of course, at the moment, it is places like YouTube that they turn to, or social media. So yes, this is the place where they need to feel that they can then trust the information they're getting from the other source, because clearly they're not trusting the system anymore.
Yeah, but they're lining up Marianne Williamson to be.
Well, yes,
US
of course there
president.
will be. This is where discernment comes in, and
Well,
sometimes
also depending on their frequency and what they're searching for is what they're going to find, and so it gets, it's why we need to be beacons of light.
Yes, and it obviously is a journey for everyone, isn't it? Because you've got to navigate your way through it.
Well, it's a very personal journey as well. Even though
Yeah.
we share many, many common things, it is a very personal journey for all of us.
Yeah.
It's like a minefield. It always feels like 5 steps back and 1 step forward all the time. It's just absolutely hard.
You're so right. You're so right. But you know what? I think for me, it's always how it feels. If it feels light, if the information that's coming to me feels light, then that's kind of my compass.
Absolutely. I mean, I get goosebumps and so excited when I know things.
Same here,
Martin, your channel gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, Martin.
It sets me alight. It's electric.
I did on the last one when I was doing about the octode. I was having shivers, you know, about the rib cage being a physical expression of an EM wave. I'm like, oh, buzz cut.
Yeah.
I always feel quite wowed when I've watched a Martin Leakey hangout.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of thought goes into everything. So hard work. Brain
It's
bursts.
nice because you're kind of discovering along the way as well, you know, so we're all sharing the experience.
That's the whole thing, though. Like, this is what's the beauty
We're
of
all
it.
there with you.
Well, I found something else about the rib cage, Martin, and I'm going to share it in a video I'm going to make in the next couple of days.
Awesome.
Maybe.
Well, look at the
Just
hat
add-
too. It may not necessarily be the pump, the medical. You know, there's a lot of aspects of torsion field physics. It looks like
the
it's like it's
electricals.
torus working even on the atom up to the hat. And I think with the rib cage being expression and Fibonacci on our ears and our nose on everything, I think that the good potential of everything is electromagnetic with us.
Yeah,
If we have a heart attack, obviously bring us back to life. The electrocute us. Electrocute life.
Of course. No, blood is electrical. It's like some sort of electrical
Absolutely.
system.
Yeah, of course. Why do they call it plasma, do you think? What's it?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth state
Plasma.
of matter.
Yeah.
We are plasma, I think.
We are
Yeah,
plasma.
we are. We are cosmic.
We may be the heart of everything.
It's
Yeah.
great.
I
isn't it?
got
the
some
heart of
awesome
everything.
downloads the other day, but I'll share them in the
That's
next
one of the-
couple of days.
So that's one of the things, isn't it? It's like, you know, we might have to continue with money one way or another. It isn't even that, because money's not evil, it's the people. But it's the fact that it's like money is the most important thing, not the people. That's the
That's how
sad
you use
bit.
the energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, money's just another form of energy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
It's an energy exchange.
buying
There's nothing evil about money at
No.
all.
No, I'm like the Christians. Like, don't like
It's the
touching
way
it.
it's used. It's where the energy is used.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's an energy exchange. I mean, I might pay you in carrots, but
It's just an imbalanced energy
It's
exchange.
an imbalance,
you know?
yeah.
Well, everyone's running around trying to earn money and they're not spending time with their family or being able to think for themselves and dig deep onto the reality that they're living in because they're chasing the money because the people that are ruling the system have made it so.
Well, no,
Yeah.
what they've done is they set us up to be in a lax system. So we spend our whole lives thinking we don't have enough and that we've got to work like slaves to get more and that we never have enough. So as long as we've got that mindset and that belief, then you'll always think that money's more important than anything else because we're living in
so
lack.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very frustrating.
The irony is the lack is actually in the love vibration and not in the money at all. Because if
it's not frustrating for me, I can live hand to mouth, but it's frustrating that everyone around me and my family and friends are just so absorbed into just constantly earning money.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The people around.
It's such a frustration.
The people
But I'm
around
chill.
us.
I'm cool.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
We need to
Dare
put
I
money
say
back,
those-
don't we? It's money to buy things, and it seems that the god is money, and everything's got millions on it. I mean, most of us are struggling to pay all our bills each week.
Yeah, chasing our tails.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered to yourself that perhaps we set it up like this? We set it up to be difficult because if I'd won the lottery when I was 25 years old, I wouldn't have gone searching in the way that I did.
Good point, that.
Yeah.
Out of the stinkiest shit grows the finest rose.
Yeah, if
Well, let's just hope then we've come together, we know why, and we stay together and we help each other because we know why we're here and everything, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the helping each other, though, is helping yourself first. No, I don't mean that in a selfish help yourself to the money. I mean, you know, if we're all working on our own temple, then you know, it's that fill your cup and then give from your overflow. And
so your resonance chamber will be rich,
you know, and you know, we said we wanted to be good examples for people who are coming to seek the truth. Well, you have to be walking a bit authentically, because otherwise you can't be that to people. And if you are that, then you know the energy that you give off is rich, and the energy
you are first. You have to know yourself. It's not going to work.
Absolutely.
You don't know yourself, you're never going to believe anything that's told to you. So you have to know yourself first.
Yeah.
And then you can help other people then.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and that's got to be your number one priority. And I think we're taught that that's quite selfish, to be sort of, we say, oh, it's self-centered, but actually I think it's quite the opposite.
You can't help anyone.
It's how you look at it, isn't it?
For the benefit of others, the you're better, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I said to you, Andrea, I think when I met you, I said, I feel guilty because I've been blissfully selfish for a long time.
Have you? Oh, you don't strike me as like that sometimes.
But in a good way, you know, I just don't tolerate, you know, the mainstream and all the nonsense, and just concentrate on me.
Cool.
And then that's able to flow out to those around me.
Yeah, that's the way.
But they put up barriers. I don't want to hear. I don't want to know.
Don't worry.
They will.
You love. It's easy from your perspective.
Yes.
I mean, you know, I think it was something Bro Sanchez said once about that. Actually, you're not, when you're healing yourself or you're dealing with some of your own shadows, that you're not only healing your ancestors, you're healing your future. So you know, it's your family line when you're doing work on yourself as well.
And isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
A family karma line.
Yeah.
And your soul tribe as well, you know.
Yeah.
The people that you resonate with
through
life, the people that you attract at various times in your life, that is kind of the only way I can describe it is your soul tribe, in the sense that we are attracting each other to each other to gain more knowledge with each other, you know. Definitely.
Well,
definitely.
if you want to get even deeper, we're actually not separate at all.
Well, exactly, of course.
That's right.
We're all one.
We're all one. Yeah.
They hate it. I love it. I love it that they hate it. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like, later, they're going to have to come on board because it's the truth.
Just different expressions of the same, you know.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing then, Martin, if you look at your torus field, how it's that electromagnetic sort of torus field, like an apple eating its own core.
Exactly.
Well, if I put a negative vibration out into that core, it's going to run through that core for a millennia or however long until it comes back. So the karma, what goes around comes around expression.
I agree completely.
This is what I see now. And I see how in humanity's terms, perhaps we have all been putting, or humanity has put some negative shit in, or some negative shit has been put in, and here it comes slapping us around again. So what we got to be putting in is the love, I think, and then in time, this is what comes around back to you. I guess that's karma.
It's like these ages, isn't it? It's like how much, like people like Martin Kenny talk about these different ages that we go through. We go through like the Iron Age, and now we're going into like the Bronze Age, and that's why more people are awakening. The age of Aquarius, however you want to look at it, people are
Golden Age of Kali, if you're a Hindu.
Yeah, you know, leaving various things. It's just everything is just repeating in cycles, you know.
Correct.
Eternally.
We
and in a way,
are fortunate to be aware of it as it's happening. We are like on the crest of the first sort of wave, knowing that this is
Thank
happening.
God for awareness.
Yeah.
Indigo children.
Yeah. And you know, it's all absolutely.
And so if you think about it in those terms, then you've got to realize that the hardships that we've seen and the terrible system and the cancer deaths and all this crap that we see, it's actually, although it's putting negative things into the into the toroid that's going to come back around. There is this meta clock that's ticking that says eventually there'll be so much goodness being put into the system because there'll be so many people awakened and then doing good that that's what's going into the torus. That's what's going into the toroid and then feeding itself around. So it's almost matter. It doesn't matter how bad the bad guys get. Eventually, it'll get overrun by the tsunami of good shit that people are doing as they wake up.
And love.
Absolutely.
Just keep it going, guys. Let's just keep it going next year, man. Next year, 2019 or so, they say it's going to be
I'm
epic.
so excited for next year.
So-
I don't know what it is. I just feel so excited for next year. It's
You just
gonna
know it, don't you?
be a good
Yeah,
one.
2019 feels like a nice number.
Well, it's exciting. I mean, Dave and I are excited, aren't we?
We're
We're
very
just
excited.
really excited.
I'm
Every day is
perpetually
a new
excited.
day.
It's so
Yeah.
exciting.
No, we
Anyway,
don't
how
know,
about a
so-
poem? Would you like a poem, guys?
Yeah. Love
Now,
it.
this is, I read this out at Truth Talks. It's called Truth Talks.
Fabulous.
That's wicked.
Mankind's going to hell in a handbasket. It's happening in plain sight. Let's take back our power and focus on kindness. We can change with unified might. The greedy overlords that are running the show don't have our best interests at heart. Unless we step up and do what is right, this beautiful world falls apart. Ancient wisdoms are hidden, inner guidance is askew, and distractions are every which way. We need to dig deep and find inner peace. Only then can we begin a new day. To our true way of being, living from the heart, divine feminine to balance things out. This separation agenda that keeps our hearts shrunk, when love could return with such clout. So much pain and loneliness. Everyone's on a screen. As conscious natural beings, our perceptions can be redeemed. We're all in this together, and united we can stand. How did we slip into this mindless mire, letting tricksters get the upper hand? I can't rest while children are dying and Mother Nature's being destroyed. Wake up to the fact that our minds are hijacked and let common sense be deployed. It's an overwhelming challenge, but we can't lay down and die. By lifting our spirits on an individual level, we have plenty of reasons to try. For our future generations, we can step up to the plate, be guided by our inner wisdom, our source that is so innate.
Yay!
Nice.
You guess Buzzy's on my videos. You want to do a few? Whew.
Oh, there's a flat earth verse at the end, sorry.
Oh, go on.
Be mindful of this consciousness war and focus on what feels good. Bringing back harmony, honouring life and living the way we should. We are amazing, loving beings, sick and tired of negativity and fear. If we rise up and do what's intrinsically right, the time for real change is here. I'm just a curious geocentric girl, vibing in an electromagnetical world, with determination for uncovering lies and discovering wisdoms that have been withheld. So as more souls wake up to truth and together shine a light on the dark, we'll raise the frequency of this realm and hit the ball out of the park.
Yay!
Yay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, but don't crack the dome though with that ball.
Is there a dome though?
Brilliant. Totally
See, I
brilliant.
love
I've
the
got a
energy.
poem. Do you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not actually about flat earth, but if you imagine everything's connected to it. So I just hope that I don't make a mistake because it's in my head. Oh my goodness, here we go. We're on a live hangout. So here we go. It goes, why be afraid of your emotional dealings? Too scared to challenge the thought of true feelings? Confused, abused, done out of losing. You've trapped it inside, abandoned or bruising. You trapped it inside to make it lie there. From child grown to adult, unable to share. But you see, your eyes are the windows into your soul. and you're stuck behind them, a facade in a bowl. Your eyes say one thing, your mouth says another, and you're too afraid to put one with the other. But you see, you are the rock forever changing. You have no sides, no bars. You're moulding and recreating. But you see, you're the pun locked deep down inside by fears of past life that nobody knows. So you've set your life out in nice little rows, forgetting the reaction of how we react when unspeakingly spoken humans attract. Not prepared to jump in the roller coaster ride or the emotional sea tide. Are you willing to let go, to share with another, to let a seed grow?
Hey,
Beautiful.
Well delivered, and wow.
Karen.
I was a bit worried I might make a mistake, because that's always annoying when you make a mistake.
Wow.
But anyway,
I wish I had a memory like you, Karen. Honestly,
Well,
I
read it out.
when I wrote that. It's in my 20s when I wrote that.
Wow. Fabulous. My memory's shot to bits because I turned to partying to escape all the zombies. So I just become a party zombie. So the memory's shot to bits.
DJing, raves. Yeah. I'm still there.
Poetry is a realisation, isn't it? You've realised it all, and then you put it in a poem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So you've obviously been out of sorts with the system for a long time.
Yes. I didn't obviously realise it was quite this, but I think everybody on this hangout, all of us, Cosmic, yes, especially Andrea after her.
We all know from childhood.
Yeah.
We're all very sensitive people. Martin is, Flat Earth Dude is, Patricia is. I'm sure most people in the chat room that are here, the real awake ones, are very sensitive people. And that's why we keep talking about resonating all the time.
That's
because
why
you
we
know,
love you.
That's right.
They know, they can feel it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing,
but not everybody does.
energies.
Not everybody sees it. So what you're trying to do is you don't mind doing the street stuff, but you don't want to be sort of necessarily feeling like you're having to bicker it out. You want to bring somewhere where people are.
That's exactly right.
Well, look, let's say we were the early class, you know, maybe some came in 2014, but really 2015 was the early class of Flat Earth. And we've got to this point in 3 years. It may not take others as long because they've got us to see. And you know, there's more normal people videos out there than there were when I started looking at it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So the reality is that it was growing exponentially 2016, 2017. So in 2019, 2020, the numbers coming to our position in this, where they're like, okay, we get it now. We don't need to kind of see anything more, or rather, we're willing to hear new evidence with a really open mind. You know what I mean? And I think this is where people need to be in forums where they're able to kind of share this kind of thing, say this kind of thing, be normal people, sit in a pub, drink a beer or whatever it is they want to do, and do normal shit, but be people that live on a flat chessboard, not a ball-shaped chessboard.
I think what you're saying, David, is you're going to be a buffer for the tsunami of humanity that's going to come your way.
Well, who knows how it'll grow? But I
This is 100 monkey effect. Consciousness works our way, brother, and it'll just be in the ether. And the way people are, you know, how they were with skateboards and yo-yos, etc. If they find out the new thing is critical thinking and like thinking outside of the box, and the news might not be true, and this is the new thing, which it looks like it's going to be, then people are going to start wake up en masse. That's what I think.
I think the energy, the talk of the energy for 2019 is definitely an awakening of more people in their truth, or seeking truth. It's a year of truth. So I think that it's you know, it's the landscape is that people are going to be seeking, and so there has to be people that are out there sort of guiding those people. So you know, I think we all need to remain the student and the teacher at all times, but there are going to be times when people
we
are
have to remember to be humble. Something I say is you have to remember to be humble.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be willing to go, okay, well, I need, you know, that's something new for me to look into, or, you know, I need to change my viewpoint on that, or whatever. So be open to that possibility. But you know, there are going to be people further behind. Obviously, there are people further ahead in terms of the journey, but it's just about being there to help. And I think that, you know, this is where one of our purpose of being here and being awake is to be that hand to uplift our fellow man, instead of being there like we, you know, judging and bashing each other down and saying you're separate and different, and, you know, where I'm in this box and you're in that box. We've got to be kind of uplifting each other.
Refreshing for them.
Very, very refreshing. Very refreshing, because Andrew's become from a different angle than me. You know, I've been hunting, you know, since I found out about 9/11, I've been hunting truth in like a left brain, you know, whereas Andrea's had a more right brain journey and didn't want to hear some of my stuff for a long time, but she was looking at other stuff, which has come in really handy, you know, to be fair.
Yeah, we came at different angles, but actually they've kind of converged and seem to be complementing each other. So,
yeah, the spiritual Kundalini stuff and all that fits right in with awakening anyway. So
yeah. You know, he had to beat me over the head with the truth, but very cleverly he used to lie in bed. This was pre-Alexander. He used to lie in bed listening to Martin and others, and I almost got hypnotized.
There was free in the bed.
I was being hypnotized, so the truth was being kind of
that
permeated.
wasn't true. That never happened.
The truth was being permeated into me, whether I liked it or not. You know, so yeah, I just
it's called brainwashing. MK Ultra Tactics.
A bit like Tetris, the game
that's
Tetris, where the little shapes started to drop into place. So
like little Tartarian bricks. Oh, yeah, just falling into place. There.
I found a key for Tatari and I'm posting it tonight. I found a very valuable key.
Excellent. No, well, I have to say that we at Hyde Park Speakers Corner, we're right over the road from the Tavistock Institute. Yeah. And so we became aware that we're playing their game. You know,
part of the experiment.
This is what they, you know, this is what they want to see us do, and so on. And I could exhaust myself and, you know, be that guy, you know, and be in the street every time. But actually, I know it was going to affect my health, or it affected my health. And, you know, doing that and picking up whatever negative energies were around. In fact, I'm going for an aura cleansing tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. Thanks, Cosmic.
You live where I live. I live in Glastonbury. It's full of all of that here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Glastonbury.
Well, anyway, Well, anyway, it's about leading this on. It's because do I want to encourage people to go into schools and maybe, you know, get people's attention? Yes, absolutely. You know, but there has to be something more. We have to show ourselves to be the intellectuals that we are actually. You know, a lot of us were perhaps on the slag heap of humanity, rejected by academia because we just didn't want to follow. And it's something for me personally at the age of 9, 10, something snapped in school and I could never figure out what it was. But I think it was because I was being forced to accept things that didn't make sense. And that broke me in school, and I never really did well after that. And my entire kind of connection with the societal norms and so on was somehow always off. So... I see that in so many of my friends in the flat Earth community, and so, you know, this is about me having the opportunity to reassess myself, because I used to say to myself, you know, I think I'm quite smart, but the society around me is giving me a different message about that, you know, now I've realized that shit, I am fucking smart, and I have actually got something really of value to add, but I need to be the complete. You know? And, you know, in a way,
Can I just add something? I don't know about if Martin knows about this, or even Cosmic Kat, but in the sort of 60s, 70s, late 60s, I suppose, when I was, you know, at playgroup and that, they decided to bring in a new system called ITA. And it was all about a different phonics. And so you were using letters to make other letters, like a T could be an I. They were trying to get rid of joined up writing. Now, there are thousands of children like me who didn't get noticed. And then, of course, when we get put back into the system, because that was a, what do you call it? They were piloting it. It was like we'd been taught French, and then we've got an English lesson. I'm my junior year. No one noticed. They just called me a dunce. So I didn't have that education. So that's maybe why I've stayed so sensitive.
Yeah.
I wasn't educated. I wasn't. Like, you know, I had to learn 11, 12, you know.
We've been intentionally diseducated. When I was 19, 20 years old, I traveled to America for a few months, and I hung out with other people of a similar age who were like in university, in college or whatever. And I was keenly aware that I'm generalizing, but they didn't seem to be as well educated as I was. And I never really thought about it anything until the last few years when I've gone, shit, they are fluoridating and they have dumbed those poor folks down. They make them stay in school till they're 25 years old, and they can barely do maths by the end of that, you know. You know, we're all equally, I think we're all equally talented. It's just that the poison of the mind and the body and the soul is deeper in some places.
Man, these people are tough stuff ever.
If you have a child and you say, yeah, it's okay, you can be angry, you got that right, I got this wrong, and you treat this child, and you love it and say rights and wrongs, or the one that's thick, stupid and useless and only gets told that, you're going to grow up differently and feeling about yourself. Yeah. That's why you talk about being authentic, because most of us aren't anymore. We've lost all that with what we've been put through as children up. And don't forget, everybody did the best as they could. But a lot of those people were actually putting all their anxiety, all their problems, all their crap, and they used you for it. Very often parents take back from their own children what was taken from them as children. So they end up treating their children how they were treated. So that happens.
This is what I was talking to about earlier, you know, where we have to heal ourselves so that we heal our ancestors, and this
we
is
break
exactly
the molds.
it. You know, you're otherwise you keep on passing it down. You know, all that stuff that you carry, and you can carry it from lifetimes ago,
and not even know it's there, not even realise that a lot of what you're thinking
of course you don't.
You in the first place. It's what a horrible adult did to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes further back than that, doesn't it? You can carry it, you know.
Well, apparently we've been engaged for a few hundred years, Martin, I'll tell you, and perhaps who knows what our backstory is. So
I think
we're carrying all that darkness. Actually, we've been given the story of the Waltons and the, you know, a backstory that, you know, seems so twee and this and that and middle, but actually.
I was wondering if we were here for a reason, like putting this little centre bit of some little. We could be just a little bit of land, all we know, you know. So.
Oh yeah. I'm really thinking that if you imagine a center pole and a wedge like a pizza, and we were on like 1/3 of that wedge, and they've convinced us it's the whole ball.
Yeah.
And we're only on like a tiny slice of it.
That's what I think.
But it is disgusting what they've done. I mean, the whole thing. I don't understand why some of us see it. You know, I've said it loads of times. It's like everybody's looking at the screen. It's just for some reason we see through the screen and out the back the other side.
Yeah.
Never come as a shock to me. I knew they were wrong.
That was kind of one of the things that kind of changed it for me with activism, was that I really believed at the beginning in 2018 that if we got out there, told people the story, you know, it would be like a sea change.
Yeah.
But at the end of the summer, when we went to Speaker's Corner, the locals were barely noticed us. Yeah. They just carried on their own shit.
I have a slightly different viewpoint. I think that there can't be just this mass awakening. I think that there are some people that will wake up. There's some people, I mean, you know, you will talk to some people and you just know that in this lifetime, which could quite frankly be just a second of time, you know, what is time really? But they're just not going to. And so it's like, do you stand there and scream and shout and get angry or whatever when they're just not going to?
It's a playground, isn't it? We're all at different levels. A lot of us are at similar levels, but there's always the ones in the corners that are not, and they tend to be the bullies.
Yeah, so I think that, you know, this is where that sort of non-judgment, love, compassion thing has to come from you, and you can only do that if you've done work on yourself. And in that some people with all, you know, the will, they're just not going to wake up. I mean, I've got friends and family who are just not going to. But I know now, my father passed over in April. I know now he knows the truth. You know, I know his energy or whatever knows the truth. And
ultimately,
he will,
yes, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So at some point you go back and you know, and he will probably come back again in some form. And so it's to not get too caught up in that, that, you know, people have to wake up. It's like you just got to do what is right.
It's just more about planting seeds. Really, it's just
that's it.
Maybe perk somebody's curiosity. It doesn't even have to be flat Earth. It can be. There are so many ways.
I always do it. Yeah.
Or do what you're passionate about as well. You know, if your passion is a certain topic or you're driven, then that's the right thing for you to be doing, as long as you're doing from the right heart space.
Yeah, that's true, and I think
you've got to do what feels right with your heart, you know.
What as they say, evil flourishes when good men do nothing. So we are sort of expected to do something. True. We expected to do something, but if you think in terms of astral light, and you think in terms of the heart being the green astral light that is beaming from your body as you go around your day, right? And some people say that astral light from your body is projecting vast distances away from you. Now, your heart on a good day can do vast distances. On a bad day, it's kind of all closed up and there's not much
auric
activity
sphere, you know.
So think about what I was saying earlier on about what goes around comes around and karma and so on. That actually, if the system wants to keep us arguing and keep my heart small, or I want to do the opposite of what the system wants, and I want to have my heart rich and pounding fucking hundreds of miles away, and enriching the plane as much as it can do, then I know that on good days and on most days, what my heart should be doing is projecting that love.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love that video you done, Dave, when you said about baseball caps cutting off UV and another aspect when you was walking down the street. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What was the big thing about it? They use
the stuff they put in the ceiling for insulation.
Yes, and they come and put 2 layers in for no reason. I thought it was totally obscure. I thought, why? It's absolutely working fine. 2 layers. What? They even tried for a 3rd. So I think there might be something in there.
And they'll put that in the walls of your house as well. And then
of course they do cavity wall insulation.
The windows of your house have got these like dark and tinted windows and stuff like that. So all of the good energy, the good waves that are being blocked from the sun, we have no idea. So that's why I try and be outdoors as much as you can. But in terms of what the message that I want to give through Truth Talks is that actually I don't want to be spreading fear. I don't want to be spreading negative heart or low heart. I actually want to be spreading rich heart and expansive heart and good heart, because that good heart is what will go into our turning Taurus, our turning toroid, and it will come back around and be what's expected. I think what in nature, why we're coming awake and why our heart will be getting richer and so on, is it's meant to be feeding this astral light, which will in turn feed the Taurus, which will in turn bring about the more availability of enlightenment for others.
Because we're all like playing our own. We're all like in a huge orchestra playing our own notes.
Yes.
And so if we can all tune into our own notes and play beautifully, we'll have a lovely resonance.
Yeah. Actually, that was an analogy I heard the other day. Someone was saying that, you know, we just, if we can all, we are an orchestra, and we're all playing a different instrument, and we need those different instruments, because, you know, if you didn't have the tambourine or you didn't have the guitar,
the diversity.
I played the French horn at school.
Yeah. so
I was the only one that could blow it.
I'm good at trumpets.
love, right? And we're here for love. And I don't mean stupid stuff.
Yes.
I mean from our heart and our mind. It's a feeling and it flows. And Dave, when you talked about the toroidal field, it suddenly came across my mind. Yeah, because the feeling should be flowing up and out. And we're only happy when that's happening. And when you're closed off, you're not loving, you're not learning. The
Dark
feeling
place
is
to be.
out.
Love expands, fear restricts.
You feel it when you're connecting with people, even online, on a hangout. You feel this connection, and it's a very subtle energy connection, and you definitely feel it, and you share it with people, especially on hangouts. I've noticed, especially when people really start.
Well, this is my first hangout, and I'm feeling the love.
Yeah, you just do. There's something.
I know. Oh, epic.
It's interesting.
Nicolas is right, because quite often we know, or me and Patricia, we know how the hangouts go. We can feel the people on the hangout.
You can't say it. You cannot put it into a word. It's a subtle. You know it.
It's an energy. Yeah.
It's an energy. You
I
can't
get
put it
it
into an English language. English language destroys it.
Yeah.
No,
but I can feel the love tonight.
That's good. We all can feel it.
That's good. That's good, and that's for me. That's true.
The room can feel it. Carry on, sorry, Dave.
Because here's the kind of, this is the thing is that I mean, one guy said to me one time in Speaker's Corner, he said, "So you actually say this? You tell this stuff to children? How bad you must feel about yourself for telling it to children? You know how it made me feel." So anyway, and of course he's proponing that people live on balls and so on. I would I could lose myself in that kind of angry space. But what I actually want to do is say to people, you have to know this stuff. You have to be angry or upset or whatever, and then you can move through into this kind of love space. And this is really what we want to be trying to encourage people to be,
It's so difficult though sometimes, Dave, as you know, especially with like your family, if it's your parents, and you're just saying,
horrendous.
They're just saying the most ridiculous things, and you're trying to explain.
Or telling you to F off.
Listen, please listen. Don't butt in and distract. Just listen for 5 minutes.
Yeah, or just have a little bit of curiosity and delve into something. You've got some common sense, please. I'm not a nutter. I'm trying to bloody spread the love.
Yeah.
But you can
try and understand simple concepts.
I think that you also, though, there has to come a point where you just accept that they're not going to.
You do them, but you can't give up because you love them so much.
But then they go the other way. You see, like for example, some people go the other way. They say, well, it's all an illusion anyway, so what does it matter? They'll go the other extreme,
What does it matter is for the ignorant people.
It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out.
It's a cop-out, that is. It's a cop-out.
It's the
same.
Lazy minds.
I think that there comes a point.
Or academic minds.
Quackademic.
Academic minds, so far in my experience, academic minds are very lazy minds.
Quackademic. There comes a point where you've got to reach something, and I think it was Bro Sanchez that said it's the shoreline, that bit in the middle, where you've got to just be able to sit in a neutral place, because otherwise you could be fighting that or having that argument with
big up Bro. He's so wise, that fella.
So it's about finding that shoreline. Trust me, I find it as difficult as the next person, because even the smallest little truths, when you get that kind of that glazed look when they're talking to you, as if you could have said
angry.
Quite idiotic. Well, there's the anger too. At least you're getting a reaction then when they're getting angry. But I think the bottom line is, I think it's also about reaching the shoreline, isn't it? And having that kind of neutral place about it, because some people
we're partly here, aren't we? Because we feel something.
Yes.
And we've got that inner knowing that clearly that they've been programmed to ignore.
Yeah.
Yes.
And talking of shoreline, I mean, my name is Kat Shaw. It was I was in Bali last year with my mum, and on a beach, and we saw the shoreline, and I said, oh, look at the flat horizon, Mum, after a few months of dropping little bits about flat Earth. And she said, will you fucking shut up about flat Earth? She said, but the thing is, I was so upset because I felt so insulted. I got up and ran down the beach, and then the heavens opened. It started pouring with rain. It was very dramatic. And that's when I realised, oh my gosh, this is not going to be an easy ride at all. And since then, the more complicated it's got. But through the complications, I've you know, searched and reached out and met people like Karen and Martin, and it's getting better and better. So I don't feel that pain so much.
That's the truth. Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Do you know what though? I think part of it is growth or healing, or is about finding your personal power. And
Yes,
because you have to be able to stand firm in
in my own right. I always wanted
in
Mummy's
your own right.
guidance, I suppose. Mummy's assurance, and I'm just not going to get
Well,
that.
we all want acceptance. We all want acceptance.
Acceptance.
But I think the
acceptance, isn't it? They trusted you to be their daughter, mother, whatever it is, and now they don't.
No.
Well,
So yeah, it is standing bold alone, isn't it?
Standing firm in your knowing, and when you know.
Yes.
Yes, Nicolas, totally.
But if you think of your parents less as, you know, we always say your parents. It's like, you know, we were just rented for a while to bring up the children, and then once they're adults, they really are not our attachments anymore. So I suppose really the acceptance that we're seeking is acceptance from ourselves rather than from our parents.
Yeah, that's the journey I've been on. I've started accepting that.
Yeah.
I trust my inner knowing.
There's a little bit deeper, because unfortunately inside of you've got a child, a parent, and an adult.
Yeah.
And the child and the parent have words and reactions, and the adult is what you should be, because that one thinks and waits and works it out. The other two just react.
Yeah, that's
and
so true, Karen.
Well, thousands of hours of parental tapes running around our heads. We have to work out who we are as a person.
Yeah, well,
the ego plays a monkey with all of them.
Well, it's also you could also see it as the higher self and the lower self. The higher self is sitting there knowing what the right thing is to do, and the lower self is the one making all the mistakes.
Yeah.
So or making some of the poor decisions, or not wanting to do the things that needs to do.
Yeah, so I was thinking a bit like this today. I hope this doesn't sound unkind, but is it kind for you to go to a 5-year-old child and say to them rudely, Santa's not real, you silly child?
I did that to my 6-year-old.
I had no kid of silly Santas or anything like that.
Santa started all this.
I did it to my 6-year-old.
Tough fairies were real.
The tooth fairies were definitely real.
Fairies in the garden.
He said, Dad, he's real to me at the moment. I know he's not real. It's all right. I said, look, it's Father Yule. It's all right. He wears green. It's okay.
It is a bit weird though. I mean, we've made an old man with a grey beard, and
he knows if you've been naughty or nice.
Knows if you're naughty or nice. We've made him like this.
There's lots of
God for the children.
It's just.
There's lots of
I must just say, when I found out Santa wasn't real, I was so heartbroken and devastated, because I had this big imagination. And it was hijacked.
I did.
At the age of 7 or 8.
But you didn't mind your ball getting taken from you.
Yeah, I did it earlier.
But this is it. When I found out flat Earth, because as a child I wasn't spinning, and
all your Christmases came at once.
Oh, my Christmas came at once. It was a relief. Santa Claus is coming down.
And this ain't no road to hell.
In my time.
God,
oh look, he's been.
Wow.
He's been.
Shocking.
It's so sad because there is a nice side to Christmas if you think about it in one way.
I love it.
Your
Family
and
together, growling at me.
No, but so this is what I've kind of, well, this is what perhaps we need to get to, is where we're able to go, you know, these guys can't see it. You know the story of the emperor and his clothes, and
it's my favourite one to explain it.
Yeah,
my comments today going on about the ISS. I can't believe that he just can't get it. It's not real. I just dreams, mate. He's taking
the piss.
Yeah,
just doesn't get it. I just can't get over it.
Yeah,
people don't get it, Martin. They think it's real. They really think it's real.
Wow.
It doesn't.
Do they think that red car in space is real? I mean,
well, have you heard anything from that recently, Kat? Where's that then? Everyone's just conveniently 1984 books.
Oh no, the red Tesla in space. Where's that gone?
Yeah, no, the cameras, you see, the cameras only lasted 4 days.
Where's the cameraman in space?
Lithium batteries work in space in a vacuum.
We haven't got that technology.
That reminds me.
No, they sent the Voyager out in 1979, didn't they? And it's still sending back information. But the car that Tesla sends up a few days ago, it's already broken down.
But as a little girl, I even knew then. Well, that's the moon landing. Filmed who was on the moon filming that when you got. I smelt a rat then.
I knew in 1985 that it wasn't a ball. I knew in 1985
wow.
it was a ball. I've said it before on different hangouts.
Wow.
My own experience, but I knew it wasn't me.
I was really baffled, and I stared at the stars every night as a child, seeing the same stars every night. But then you sort of get sucked back into the hypnotism and don't think about it and go raving for 30 years. But
biding your time, you were biding your time.
Biding my time. What was it? I was percolatingly pickled.
Yeah.
But when I obviously discovered flat Earth, all the flashbacks of when the moon landings, when I had little seeds planted, then it all came back. You know, the common sense I had as a kid came flooding back.
I always question everything from day one, and people hated me, school hated me. My dad being an academic didn't like it, being a private school headmaster didn't like it, questioned too much. Get on with it, son, look at the books, repeat.
Used to send me out. Never used to even bleeding put up with me. They've asked a question, get up, Lika. Sorry,
the whole system, the private system was quite an interesting experience. Traumatized me. But I never accepted any of it. Didn't accept any of it. You know?
I gave hell in school.
And my dad's like, even now, you know, it's just like, you know, Nicolas, you know, it's a ball. And I'm like, no, it's not, Dad, it's not. And he's like, no, it is. No, Dad, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it is.
That's what, let me just say, as you bring up the point of private schools, it's worth saying up front that this issue, it doesn't know class, it doesn't know anything. You know, I don't think there are schools where they're sending these boys off and saying, oh, by the way, we're going to tell you the truth about everything. No, I think everyone's being lied to somehow.
Yeah. Everyone.
And you know, this business of being able to cover up these mud floods that seem to be only a few hundred years old and so on, how the hell are they doing that? But by moving us around,
I know it is.
Can you imagine there's a situation like Martin was describing just now? We were talking about how it's possible that we live on a wedge of the earth and that there's more to it. So that every now and again, that just like you move sheep from one field to another, this kind of the survivors, they just move.
Oh man, I think about things like that a lot.
Yeah.
Crop rotation in the 14th century. Spinning around, so one comes back and replenishes. While
the survivors just get shipped off to a new place.
Mandela effect
mining operation.
I saw a video, right? Basically, there wouldn't be the Mandela effect if we hadn't woken up. Us waking up, I was telling people about it. Maybe we've caused a paradox. And now that's why the past has changed, because we changed it by waking up.
Maybe we're right in the past, right now in the future. Because
we woke up on our own. They've only got programming, haven't they? And of course, now we've woken up and changed the past. It might have been us that have done it. I don't know. It's my thought.
See you when I get there.
I think everything's meant, so it's all
Yeah,
good.
I mean, there is this theory that actually everything has already happened, and we're just here to experience it.
Yeah,
So
many
it's already been
Groundhog
done.
Day.
Yeah.
But it's better to experience it with good vibrations all
Part of
together.
everything we're doing right now is just discovering it. Really, we're just we're kind of discovering what's already happened.
I think it's meant to be
rediscovering again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to get washed away, then there is a higher self to be discovered along the way, and either we discover it ourselves or we pass it on to others to discover. We pass the baton on, and I think that's surely what we have.
In the chat room, it's our consciousness, because we're here and now. That's all we've got, and we've got our consciousness. It's our consciousness that is. I don't know how many other people feel like the air, the Ethernet is like a telephone wire to me. I feel things through the air.
I can't even go on public transport because wire to everyone's heads, and it's hell. So I got to walk.
Everything's connected, you know. It's your soul energy as well. It's going back to that soul energy. Do you think that we could even be our own ancestors? You know, maybe we stay within our own soul family group.
How does deja vu fit into that?
Could we have been? Were we our ancestors? Was there another? You know, Martin Liedtke talking about the same things at that period, that time, some place, some realm. You know, some part of the realm. You know,
I think that's a real possibility.
Yeah, it's all conjecture. Obviously, we just don't know. Obviously, it's just conjecture, but it's an interesting thought to think that how your lines work.
I've thought about it this way: we're a spirit. We're the spirit. And the soul is the one that carries on. The spirit doesn't. It has one life. When have you ever heard a medium? When have you ever heard a medium say anybody's come back? When have you ever heard a medium say your dad's back, your uncle's back, great uncle Albert? They're always on the other side.
Yeah, and he's coming back. I just think flat.
And that's why we can sense them, because they're still all here. They're just, they're in the fourth, fifth, whatever it is, sixth dimension. We just can't see them, but we can feel them because they're still here.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Sorry, my there. But, I mean, the soul goes on. So, in that sense,
excuse me,
our soul obviously has a different, lessons and whatever it is.
I always feel everything's just meant to be. We just go with it. Yeah, like you just said. It feels like it does feel like that. Everything's already just mapped out, and I'm just going along with the flow into this automatic life that I'm supposed to have. Just seems like that, yeah.
That's what the DMT showed.
Yeah, as well.
And that's why it's actually why one of the most important reasons or the most fantastic things about Truth Talks is that it can all be about love. It can all be about there's no need for fear. This idea that with this inculcation of fear by the media, by the mainstream media, and by the movies, and
this country's crazy for fear.
Yeah, man, fundamentalists are the worst. Fundamentalize on any freaking thing is always attached to fear.
Yeah,
so there's another aspect.
Yeah, and you see it at every angle, and I think that's what we've got to be the antithesis of if we're going to be anything that's different, because people could easily get on the fear bandwagon of. I mean, I love mud flood research, don't get me wrong, but, does the prospect of, an imminent event that we don't know how they come about, does that cause me? If I allow that to cause me fear, then, I'm again playing into that wrong paradigm that if these things are going to happen, they're going to happen.
And also, is that a tool of fear, Martin? A lot of these things, the mud flood things, and a lot of the artwork that
I think about it a lot, because obviously there's an aspect of fear, but there is a flip side, and it is positive for humanity. But if it is a scenario that when narrow windows of time and they erase the place using plasma, well, then the people, I feel that they should be prepared. With 5G on the horizon, there's things that we should do to protect our families if we love them, and ourselves we need to protect. And this is on the horizon, and if there is a scenario, I feel it's been energy weapons all the way along. Not
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
It's been them. It has. It is clearly coded. It is. So if it was the case, then we should be better prepared. Like, you know,
we're just on a film set. We'll just like take number 20.
What's there to fear? Death of the mortal body. It might be just epic. How do anybody even know? Why are we even born to fear like that? And what, drag through our... That is brainwashed into us. They can't wait to get us under the ground. There's something weird going on with a lot of it. I think there's something definitely different going on. And as you said, the spirit doesn't die. That's just a ridiculous notion. It's energy. Energy goes on. So...
So my thinking is that if we are to be recycled in one way or another, then to be recycled at a high vibration is preferable somehow to going at a low vibration. That seems to me to be a fairly common sense sort of thing to hold to. So, you know, we want balance in life.
You must be higher vibration though to be here.
Say that again.
Already, because we're all quite excitable, emotional, passionate people anyway, all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, but like the whole of humanity out there, like if you go to my shopping center area now on a Saturday tomorrow, a lot of those people there are seen a long way from that.
What, Bromley High Street?
Yeah.
From
Don't even go there. They'll all be manic. It'll be a nightmare. Don't go to
Yeah, don't go there.
I always
I
say,
live in Glastonbury. It's so pagan here. It's great.
Yeah,
we're going to move out there.
Have you seen it though? Over Christmas, hardly anybody's out shopping. That right? The internet is great. My daughter orders a lot of her presents on the internet, and it comes straight to your door. It is great, but that stops us going out. We could accidentally bump into someone. Oh, sorry, said them. Even that's not happening now.
No.
You know, no one's talking to each other.
I go out every day, but I don't go to places of capitalism.
I'm quite lucky here. It's very much like that. People talk to each other here. A lot of very interesting characters. A lot of people here searching for truths. It's a melting pot. And I'm sure that people who've been to Glastonbury know that it's a melting pot of people on journeys, basically searching truth.
I seen a
lot of energy.
Nick. Yeah, check this out. A guy, right? Oh, this was a connection for going out. This old guy on one of these little disabled chairs, and he's going up the middle of the busy main road with two buses behind him and a load of cars for about a mile. And he just goes past me and my son with this beaming smile, going, "Here, I'm holding up all the cars and pissing them right off."
Nicolas, I was in Glastonbury a couple of years ago, and I was in a cafe, and there was this guy. I was with my sister and my mum, and there was this guy walked in and sat with us, and they was taking the piss out of me, my mum and my sister, going, "Oh, tell him the earth's flat then." So I thought, well, I will, because I'm in Glastonbury and they're round to all in Glastonbury. But he thought I was crackers as well.
No, there's quite a few actually. There's quite a few sort of flat earthers. There's quite a few flat earthers in Glastonbury, and the John Smith Globe Light Tour, when they came to Glastonbury, if you watch that video, there's a few Glastonburyans that sort of show up in that.
Really? Yeah. Why have we got a presence at the festival then?
Pardon?
Why have the Flat Earthers got a presence? I think in every year at Glastonbury, I'm thinking, why haven't we got a presence?
We should have our own slice.
Yeah, let's have our own stage.
But I've been thinking, you know, Martin. I mean, I'm into music. I DJ and produce music, and friends of mine, and there's a lot of people in the truther community that have got a lot of art and culture and music. Definitely. What the Flat Earth needs, rather than just like a Flat Earth convention, is a Flat Earth festival, man, where people can
everybody got involved. I was planning it last year. I got a DJ. I got 2 bands. You know, who was willing to, you know.
My brother's a musician as well, and he's got equipment that you just need to just stick it in a field, and he's got a rig, and he's got. I mean, it's just stuff that could be done. You know, could be done.
Of course, it could be done. All you got to do is intend it and make it happen.
Well, we will. We make it happen.
Find someone with a field, you know, someone with a field,
Somebody offered. I can't remember. It was weeks and weeks ago about fields. I got to think about that. Have a look back.
It wasn't muddy, was it, Martin?
It's happening though. Truth Talk is now happening once a month.
Shit, I gotta go. I'm on live soon.
But we also going to be.
I gotta go. I gotta go and eat something. And I'll make a quick cup of tea, and I gotta go live in about 15-20 minutes or so.
Oh, okay, dude.
I'll have a crowd there. I can't be not there. It'd be so rude.
Oh, Martin, it's been a pleasure.
I can't help
We
it.
love you, Martin, and congratulations. Well done
Yeah.
for everything.
Awesome.
We don't
But
want
But we're going to pull a
Yeah.
festival together as well, so don't go away too quickly. But
No, I've been thinking it all along, like, you know, even last year, people saying you want to.
I remember last year, Martin, you actually mentioning it a couple of times.
Lots of times. I was really adamant, but it was.
You know.
Yeah. Well, we'll listen. I want to come out and
I
visit
like,
in Wales
I like
anyway,
one of
right?
Martin's.
Love you.
I like one of Martin's ideas is putting a sign out or walk. You know, like you actually put in your garden flat Earth or something, or you go and stand on bridges with the flat Earth signs.
I fancy grabbing the microphone on the pyramid stage, slagging the pyramid stage off, and red pilling like 500,000 people in the field. It'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Flat Earth presence at Glastonbury Review Festival would be good.
We should have it. There's something going on. Why we have
I'm trying to get
it's
in there
about
with
ready
music,
now.
with
It's
the
ready
music
now.
side of it, you know, trying to introduce through various things with the dance music side of things, trying to get people more flat earthy. There are some flat.
But then you've got everything in there in Glastonbury. Stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Before you go, Martin, everybody on the panel, in the chat room, who would like it as a, sorry, I know that Robin's working really hard to do a Flat Earth conference next year in Birmingham. Who would like it as a conference or a festival?
Festival. Well, we've been talking about this
asking,
for
who
a while
likes
now.
So actually, Truth Talks, we've kind of put it on the back burner until January, but we've actually we decided we were talking more like picnic festival because you know,
family.
Yeah, so something that everybody can come to.
Yeah.
We have a potential venue field that Kat has contacts with. So there is something in the making, but you know, collaboration in this kind of instance is
nice daytime
important.
beats.
This is where it's key. And look, there's not that many of us, you know, let's be honest, there's not that many of us. So we're not going to necessarily this year be able to pull thousands of people together, but we can we certainly got to set the calendar up for things.
I can pull a crowd.
Yeah.
I get people. I'll pull a crowd. Leave it to me. Leave that to me.
Well, Martin, find us a field, darling.
Southwest Posse, man. Come on.
Not a muddy one.
Man.
No. There was a place by Bridgen called Trios. I went to a festival years ago there. Aswad played. It was epic. Oh, I love
Trios
that.
sounds good. The Trinity, we need that.
I thought that when so I was thought that last year. I thought, well, why not? That field was ace. There was a brilliant stage there as well. It was ace little venue. It was a river close by. It was beautiful.
Where was it, Martin?
Near Bridgend in South Wales.
Oh my gosh, that sounds exciting. Do you know I'm Welsh?
Outstanding beauty.
I've got Welsh ancestors.
Everyone has.
I
don't even know it. I'm a Patatarian. I found out because my father's from Estonia, and that's Latvia, and it used to be like Lifeland, and I have discovered that's like the hub of the Tatarian empire. So that's probably why this is happening.
That's why you're so driven. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
I found our modelling and that it blew me out with water. I couldn't even believe what I was reading. It was just like, wow. That explains so much for why I'm doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Martin, we used to say ta-ta to say goodbye.
Yeah, no. And what does it mean? Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
Tartaria.
What do they do to Tataria? They bye-bye then.
Ta-ta. So I don't know whether they're taking a piss, but that's something we were taught to say.
Yeah, exactly.
There are lots of little things like that, aren't there?
There are to do with that sort of ta-ta.
Yeah,
no.
Nuances,
my mother's a Jones, so I'm half Welsh.
Oh, you as well.
Martin, I want to come and see you, mate.
Yeah, man, you'd love it.
We're all coming to Wales.
I would love a big bash and have
Stopping Glastonbury on the way through. We'll all go to Wales.
Yeah,
I gotta go to these lot. That sounds terrible. Through these lot. I go and see my peeps. Oh, bad. Kat, I'll catch up with you soon, hopefully. This year is going to be epic. We're going to definitely catch up.
It's exciting.
I know, I'm excited.
Love you lots, darling.
Yeah,
we're looking forward to
it.
All right, Karen, thanks for the invite, love. It's been awesome. Sure, I can't believe how really cool this was. It was just so cool. So, I was on a show, thought I was in a room talking with friends.
Isn't it great?
Yeah,
Love
that's
it.
cool. That's cool.
Very lovely to meet you. Dave's wife, I can't remember your
Andrea.
name.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Andrea.
Andrea.
Oh, right. Lovely to meet you anyway. So I see you again.
Cheers, mate. Nice one.
Bye,
We'll
bye,
see you.
bye,
Martin.
bye, bye, brother.
Cheers,
Bye,
mate.
dude.
Love you, Martin.
Oh,
Oh,
Patricia.
Patricia.
Hello,
Yeah,
Patricia. You've been there from day dot, haven't you, darling? Nice to say hello to you. Oh, she's gone again.
Yeah, hi. No,
Oh.
I'm here.
Hello.
I'm like that cushion. I keep popping up now and again.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, Patricia's my little rock, she is.
She
Or
is,
big rock.
Yeah, she's been really amazing, and such words of wisdom as well. With all the
And flat earthers as well. You know, they're the ones I talk to the most. But yeah, Patricia's great. Even if she's quiet, she's there.
she's there.
I'm not
Cool.
Well, Ellen?
I'm not really quiet.
Patricia, you are quite quiet. She does talk a lot sometimes. Anyway, just to let everybody know, next week probably, Patricia's going to be hosting a quiz, aren't you, Patricia? Patricia?
You go,
She's
girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully be hosting a quiz. Can't wait.
Oh, that'd be good. I'm useless at quizzes. Got no memory.
Me too.
Hey, you know how Tesla said the secrets to the universe are understanding 3, 6, and 9? Do you know that? You may have heard that. Well, if you haven't heard that, something that he's claimed, it's claimed that he said, and I think I might have cracked something on that. I haven't seen anything on this, but I'm gonna do a video. I'd love to come and on your show another time, Karen, and show it, because
That'd be interesting to hear.
it's just, you know, I mean, I've been looking like everybody else, and right now we are in a time when there is fantastic information coming out. I mean, you know, we just the knowledge I have now by compared to just a year ago, and that's because people are doing fantastic stuff. And I think that, you know, I might have something to add to that now, you know, just a little bit of something to add to that. So I'm just trying to knock a video. I've never done that before. So my son is helping me, my older son.
Yeah, not Alexander.
No, not Alexander is helping. Alexander's hindering me. He's
3, 6, 9, the goose drank wine, the monkey took the one colour, love broke, the monkey catch
yeah.
But
Yeah, I've got yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
for now.
don't.
Yeah, I won't.
Give it.
Sounds very interesting. You can arrange that. Don't you worry.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is great. You know, Sun and Moon can. You know, it's about bringing people together and helping as best. That's the way that me and Patricia see it, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting what Martin said when he left the hangout. He just said it was like I was sitting in a room talking to friends, and you know, I think that's ultimately what you want to feel when you're hanging out with people. You know, you may not always think exactly the same, or believe exactly the same, but you know, generally you're feeling like you're amongst a bunch of friends. You know.
Yeah.
So.
That does feel good.
Yeah, it feels good.
It feels good. After all the horror.
Oh, sorry, you know the ego. We don't want it. That doesn't even enter our heads. It doesn't even enter all that. Whereas it's obviously the main thing for some other people. But that's what's really nice about people who've really woken up. They don't worry about all those things.
Well, I can't say I don't worry about them. You know, I think that I still suffer with that. What do they think? You know, there's still that element of separation and judgment that goes on.
We don't,
but
we don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry.
No, but I try every day to realign myself to that kind of that knowing, and I'm certainly on my own journey of finding my personal power. So, but it's really nice, because when you are on your truth journey, which is where Truth Talks was also born from. It's I was at the end of the Globe Light tour, and I spoke to a guy who was quietly sitting in the back of the audience, and not many people were talking to him. I went up to him and had a chat. I think, Kat, you'd also been speaking to him, and he said he was an observer. He's been following the Flat Earth movement, but he's an observer in the YouTube chat rooms. He doesn't comment. He doesn't make himself known. But he really enjoyed being there because everybody that he speaks to in his own life isn't interested in talking about that. And he said it's a very isolating place to be. And I think, that's the thing with when you go on that truth journey, is often you lose a lot of who you thought were your friends. So to
unless you kind of
been
been like that,
you've got nothing in common with all these people you've been friends with for years. You've got whatsoever.
Straight.
So they just say, yes, she was in that case.
So to have a community that you feel that you can turn to, there was something that was very real to me when we had that incident where the police came
raid.
When the police came to our home
and stole my plants.
The people that I wanted to turn to were actually the people in the truth community. They weren't my old friends. There were people that I knew that knew the system. They knew the truth of what was going on. And they knew that cannabis it isn't a drug like they say it is. It's a plant, and it's a plant medicine. And so those were the people I turned to. So I think it's a very important thing. And Sun and Moon and other channels will offer that opportunity for people to come together and be part of community. And that is ultimately what we want for Truth Talks. We want people to feel like they can come to a space that they can come and chat to other people. No one's going to look at them as if they've got three heads on their shoulder, and that we'll hopefully sit there with non-judgment of the person, no matter where they are on their journey.
Absolutely. Bit of respect and a bit of kindness and a bit of empathy.
We could all
and also
do that.
We've had to learn on the journey, haven't we? Because we all start off coming in, well, that's the map for me and that's the way it is. And over time you think, no, you can't even go with the map now. We get off that. We start going with the people. We start moving forward because we're not moving. We're not a globe. And that's all we can say right now. We can't prove anything else except with people like Dave Marsh and all these other people, Stan Smith, these kind of people doing experiments. But it's just that you have to stay open. You have to remain open.
Well, it's going back to.
I think a lot of people get put off, don't they? They get put off by a lot of a lot of people within the flat Earth community pushing models and saying things that are kind of, well, you don't know that, it's all conjecture. It's we need to discover and explore before we can start saying certain things and putting it across as if that is a fact and that is the truth, And I think a lot of people that are still on the ball are being misinformed really badly on many levels,
But sure. No, definitely, Nicolas. I think we're also thoughtful though that sorry, I got thrown by my camera there. It's odd seeing yourself in the camera when you're talking. But there's the dual, or perhaps the three journeys that we're on. Certainly there's the journey of getting on in this world and dealing with trying to learn the truth about who and what we are and where we come from. But there's also that kind of higher, I don't want to bang on about it, but there's this higher purpose that we have as well, that we
being
should
of
be,
it, but not of it,
Yeah, and that kind of journey to self, in knowing ourselves and being that, that your heart, if it's coming back to the heart analogy, if the heart is meant to be like a lighthouse beaming green light, then how do you bring yourself to the point of being the greenest, brightest light that you were meant to become? And you don't do that by squabbling over with engineers
Maths,
about buildings, structural kind of design, and why they would bloody build basements with beautiful windows and all that. And you don't, as much as you want to try and bring people to truth.
Yeah.
Again, I'll say it, that if you spend your life, this life, hunting the truth about Tartaria, for example, do you lose yourself along the way?
Absolutely.
Am I to judge that? No.
I've got another way of putting this whole thing where people are, by the way, because a lot of what you've got, where you should be, is know yourself, see yourself, accept yourself, and be yourself. A lot of people aren't there yet on that one, but that's what you should be. That's a spiritual master.
Yes, but I'd like to add, if I may finish off, and then Karen, is to say that I think that we need dogged researchers. The world needs, like a car engine. A car needs a brake and
the orchestra. You need all the musical instruments.
Exactly.
So
you need all the parts, and then you need the conductor to bring it all together.
Yeah, exactly.
Precisely.
So it's an important thing, but it comes back to the fill your cup and give from the overflow. So I think your spiritual well-being has to be this is my belief anyway, is that your spiritual well-being has to be your priority. And then I think that you resonate with certain truth and certain people because of that, and from that you develop your inner knowing, etc.
Yes, but equally, coming back to those people who don't, as we were saying earlier on, those people who don't make it in this lifetime, those people who spend their entire time butting their head against the system, playing with the system, whatever. Those people, that was their journey this time around. And so we are not kind of saying, oh, it's a do this, or that's somehow less failing, whatever. It can't be that.
No.
Play your own note.
Yeah, if it's your journey, it's
we
your
are
journey.
coming together.
But
we are coming together.
Yes.
And it's getting so exciting now.
But we need to know the potentiality of us that are here, is that it's not just, okay, focus all your attention on that knowledge and so on. It's about, knowing those things, but knowing thyself, and, using what we can to kind of, raise the astral light. I think actually we're far more powerful when it comes to powering the Taurus field. I will talk to Martin more about this, but when it comes to powering the Taurus field, what if we're the battery?
Indeed.
And
they're harnessing the negative energy, and we should be putting out the loving energy.
Correct.
Well, look at the Sufi traditions, and how the whirling dervishes, how they would harness their Taurus energy by spinning.
Yes.
And then when they spin, they reach that central point, that non-point where they just spin and they lose themselves in their own Taurus spin. And it's a very fascinating it's a fascinating thing to watch, and it's a fascinating thing to sort of look into a little bit. The Sufism, putting aside all of the dogma and all of the mind control aspects of it, but the actual what they were doing, what they're doing is actually very interesting.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
they know the world's not spinning, so
that's for sure. That's for sure, because we are spinning. We are.
Yes.
We are the vibrating cosmic energy.
Yeah.
It is pretty disgusting what they've done, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I don't know if you heard me on Roxanne's show when I said about the young schoolboy on the train. I gave him a leaflet because he'd been talking about the sky to all his friends, and I gave him a flat earth leaflet because he was so keen and excited talking to his friends about the stars. I thought, I've got to give him a flat earth leaflet because he's obviously awake and passionate about these things. Because you can't bear to think of the children being so indoctrinated in the bullshit. Breaks my heart.
Yes. It's tricky, I have two children, 12-year-old son.
Wake up. You can't do it. Everybody has to wake up. It's if I sit there going, Nicolas, this is what it doesn't work. They have to wake up themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been battling with that in my mind, because it's like, you know, stop pushing, Kat, stop pushing. But also, you know, otherwise the darkness is going to get more of a grip of them. You have to keep planting the seeds.
I don't know that the darkness.
One was happy about it, and the other one sort of trying to get away. Carry on. Sorry, Andrea.
She gets it. She does understand it. She gets it.
Do you know what? I think, you know, we've got obviously the two older ones, and they've been through the system because that's what we thought we had to do with what you know we knew at the time.
Mine's going through the system.
But now that we are, you know, we are where we are, Dave and I just feel that we've just got to carry on being who we are. Guiding them, you know, giving them the knowledge, but
that's it, isn't it?
It is about them making that, you know,
choices and perspectives and getting it into balance, you know.
They've got to do that journey themselves. We can't, you know, we can't make them. And I think that I don't worry about the darkness so much. I think the duality is necessary. Whether it's out of balance, and maybe this is about everything coming back into harmony and the divine feminine rising. You know, and the negative and the positive energies finding a way. Nature coming back, fighting back. You know, and taking it back, itself back, you know, who knows what's to come. But and I don't say that to be fearful. I think that, you know, the balance has to come back. It has to come back into balance.
Of course, and I think it does. I think it like these cycles do happen, and I think we are moving into this new consciousness, and it's a painful process, you know, because it is a playground, and there are people at different levels and different stages. You know, and they're going to look at you and point, "Oh, you're the weird one that makes those weird noises in the corner," you know, or whatever.
Spinning. You know? Like a dervish.
But again, it comes back to if you're being the, you know, the highest vibrating, loving light that you can be, then, you know, that's where you're the most effective. When you worry about things, then that's only, you know, brings that
doesn't it? When you worry,
that vibration down. So you know, and I think every day it's a challenge, because we're being bombarded. You know, and they say that often when there's an awakening, the negative will try even harder to put you down. So you could, you know, that's, you know, maybe why the things like 5G or whatever are coming.
That's why it becomes what they say is a spiritual war. It becomes a spiritual war, you know.
Exactly. So it's about,
you know, war on consciousness.
Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So you know, you've got to kind of try and keep.
Well, talking of focus, what about, I mean, I don't watch the news, but the kids told me that a drone shut down Gatwick.
Yeah, my dad
twice.
Yeah, I heard that. What's all that about? I didn't watch it.
That is a load of balls.
Yeah.
They just love to cause disruption to the plebs.
I said to my dad, I don't watch the television, so I said to my dad, I want to know the nonsense.
Yeah. And they were going, oh, drones.
But also
really?
Yeah,
a lot of
travel as well. So it happened on a really, really busy day. One of the busiest days before Christmas.
Yes, but what are they doing while we're focusing on
distraction?
What are they doing behind the scenes while we're kind of thinking about?
You know, do you know what it is? Because it's solstice, and it's the shortest day, longest night. That beautiful energy that could be harnessed, they're turning it into panic and distraction.
Well, they're also distracting people from that. So
they're distracting from people from actually tuning into the actual aspects that people should be celebrating for solstice. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm having a nice celebration here tomorrow evening with a couple of friends, and it's going to be a very nice pagan solstice tradition with a Yule log, and it's going to be really nice.
Well, and it's full moon tomorrow as well, so you've got full moon as well.
Yeah, lovely.
And my wife, my daughter, a couple of friends, and the the 3 cats.
Wow.
In Glastonbury.
Perfect.
With a view, I've got if I go out of my house, and onto my road, I can see the tour from my road.
Oh wow!
So it's a really nice energy. Yeah,
that is cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, we've been going for a couple of hours, but I just want to, like, obviously we had Martin here, which was great. But do you want to talk any more about the Truth Talks?
Can I just add that this month one we'll be focusing on our open mic session, and so we're really trying to encourage people to come down, and they can give us sort of 5 minutes of their own truth, or up to 10 minutes.
And we're going to have a sing and a dance and a hug.
Yeah, well, Dave, I think Dave, but Kat and I and Dave are hopefully going to do our own little 5 minutes just to kind of warm it up.
Yeah, I'm going to try and put mine into rhyme.
Yeah, so we're going to stand up and give a little bit of our story too, just to kind of warm
Break
things
the
up.
ice.
But we want to keep it light. We thought it would be a great opportunity for people to reflect on their journey so far, or certainly 2018, because it's been quite a busy year. They might just have come across some truth and want to just talk about that, and because when you first find out something, it's like you want to talk to someone about it, so they might just want to stand up and talk for 5 minutes about that. It's about giving people an opportunity to talk in a fairly safe place, but also hopefully a reflective opportunity, time to reflect on 2018. But also light and positive, hopefully,
absolutely.
that the truth, waking up to the truth has brought the same energy that I know that I feel, that Dave feels, that Kat feels, and it seems that people on the chat feel, that it's exciting. I'm looking forward
Invigorating.
to 2019.
Yeah.
Let's bring it on.
Put aside the fear, there's so much fear mongering, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
the truth
shall set you free. So, come and set yourself free at Truth Talks and come and
don't you have a surprise singer coming as well?
Oh yeah, we hopefully we have. She's not too well at the minute.
She's very
send out some good vibes.
Very
you never know. We might have some impromptu singing from Kat and Dave.
Yeah.
I might do "Shut Your Effing Beat."
But it's about having a bit of end of year fun, and doing it with people.
I just want to hug as many people as possible, that we're all facing the same direction. Truth and love.
Yeah, and we're keen to remind people that this is like a monthly thing now. We want to do this last Thursday of the month, and so try and set it up as a regular thing.
This is it. I'm here now at the Vanbrugh. I'm going to go downstairs in a minute and give out leaflets. So I've just done my first live hangout, and he'll probably go.
Whereabouts are you? Whereabouts actually are you?
In Greenwich.
Okay.
The Vanbrugh pub in Greenwich.
I was there many years ago.
It's my sister's, yeah. It's meantime.
Greenwich.
Is your sister a flat earther?
Sorry?
Is your sister a flat earther?
No, not yet. She's really
not yet
warming up to it. There was a few videos she watched and she was nearly there. And then one day in Greenwich Park on the meantime line, she said to me, "Kat, don't get too excited. I'm spinning on the ball." And I went, "No!" I cried. I ran across Blackheath. Oh no, she was almost there.
But she doesn't mind you holding meetings there, though.
She doesn't mind because it's Truth Talks. There's so many different subjects we're covering, and so it's not all flat, but it is flat.
Yeah, I mean, when we decided to do Truth Talks, we wanted to talk about other subjects, because what we found when we're doing activism on the street is that people were saying, well, actually, if you didn't hit us with Flat Earth and you spoke to us about other subjects, we would maybe stand and talk to you for longer.
Yeah, I like what you were saying.
I like what you were saying about I like what you were saying about that, or why couldn't we talk about this, or what about that, and so we felt like there were other subjects that people wanted to talk about. Obviously, Flat Earth will always be something that runs through it, and
it covers everything, doesn't it, Andrea? It covers everything anyway.
It does, but it's a very big truth for people to swallow.
Yeah. I did get asked about it at the last one.
So we're not hiding the fact that the Earth is flat, and it will be mentioned probably every time we have a truth talk.
But we didn't want to call it Flat Earth.
But we want there are so many other truths.
Let's bring them in from other angles, and then flatten them.
So much to talk about. And I mean, Tartaria is such a phenomenal subject. You get people like Martin and others to come and talk about Tartaria. I mean, you can look at mud flood. We could start arranging mud flood tours, right?
Yeah, we could see with our own eyes.
There must be some technical dudes, we could set up a mud flood app. Right. And, there's things that you can actually do that are actually tangible, in this world today aside from looking at the moon landings, of course, you're happy to bring people and show them the moon landings and stuff like that. But there's so much going on. So, no, the truth talks, people want to come and talk about truth talks about the Labour Party or some politics shit. They'd be like, that's not our kind
of
truth.
Not true.
It's annoying, isn't it? That you've gone so far in your journey, and you got to this point. It's like people at that level, and they're still going on about the moon.
Yeah, no, that's why I say you have to be authentic. This is not come let's talk about the truth about the Labour Party. No. I think the reality is that if you've been lied to in one theatre, you've been lied to in all of them, and there has to be some level of acceptance of that. And
Brexit's off the table.
Yeah, we want to expose that, but we can't be talking small. Although we have to accept that some people are only coming into that, and you got to be gentle.
Yeah, and we have to nurture them as well, because it's a scary thing for them to.
Yeah,
shocking.
And that, guys, is one of the tricks about this, isn't it? Is that I saw it in people's eyes. I saw the light go out. Well, sometimes the light went on, but sometimes the light went out when you were telling people about Flat Earth, because it's too deep a leap. Most of us would have had other truth come to us. We knew other stuff before we found out about Flat Earth. But for people just to kind of in the street get slapped in the face with Flat Earth, it causes. We see the amount of dissonance it causes.
Yeah.
So
we're trying to be compassionate.
We can do that. There's a place for that, and so on. Put a banner up, whatever.
So basically, you've got to be like counsellors as well.
You need to take people on a journey. We need to take people on a journey, and that's what I feel like Truth Talks.
Connect the dots.
Truth Talks will be, hopefully eventually like a library that can take people on a journey online or whatever, if not in the flesh, to bring them up to speed, as it were, so that before you batter them over the head with things that it's so hard to grasp. I mean, the simplest things of water being flattened and so on, but it's just so deep into the indoctrination that no matter how well you present it to people, how cleverly you present it to people, you're going to get that dissonance backslap. So you've got to get people. You've got to get people to realize that.
Well, people have been so bombarded with so much information that it's so simple on many levels. It's not obviously on many levels, but there are so many simple aspects to this that people are so befuddled. They're like, well, surely it's got to be some algorithm or some mathematical kind of construct, or it's like, no, it's not that complex.
Yeah.
No, it's so simple. We're not
making it complicated. They don't understand. They're making it so complicated and you say something that's physical, or you say something that's a reality, and they'll be the first thing they say is, oh yeah, but is there where's the model for that, or where's the maths for that?
Yes.
Or
what I found that
just trust your senses.
Yeah, but
then they say, well, you shouldn't trust senses.
Well, you shouldn't trust your senses, and you should trust gravity, which is a theory. So then you say, but that theory is given to you by the same authorities that did 9/11.
Yeah.
What's 9/11?
And Father Christmas. And Father
what's 9/11? you know, and so, but because they say, why are you bringing up 9/11? I'm like, well, if you don't yet realize how much they're capable of doing, even at that level.
I was in the
not
air on
ready
a plane when that happened. I was on a plane in the air.
Wow.
Flying from Italy to England.
Andrea's parents were flying here.
Yeah. Did you find out on the plane, Nicolas?
No.
God, because that would have been.
We arrived actually. We were flying into. He was actually flying into Gatwick, of all places.
No drones then.
And we didn't know what was going on. It was really, really odd. There was nothing being said, but there was this weird atmosphere, and nobody knew what was going on.
Oh. Weird.
And then we saw it on the television. You know.
Do you know? I think the thing with people's truth journey is that they have to take their power back.
Yeah.
And for some people that needs to be a small little step of power. And sometimes it's about making the decision not to know the truth about vaccinations. Maybe it's the truth about
chemtrails or GMOs.
Or something. Sometimes it just needs to start with that small thread, you know, like in a jumper, when you pull on the one little thread, the whole jumper comes apart, but it's, you know, it's one thread.
Slow unraveling.
But it has to be balanced. It has to be balanced. I find that a lot of people in the truth community are taking one extreme or the other. They're going too much one way or too much the other way, and it's that.
Or being stuck in one truth and not moving on. You know, we know plenty of people who are like they're fighting the vaccination cause, which is amazing. But if you feel that the vaccination thing is you know, the system's doing that to you, then you've got to be willing to look at all the theatres.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that's what Truth Talks can do. It can, and the likes of Sun and Moon Group. You know, you have a whole array of people come and talk about their area of expertise, and so therefore people can start to connect the dots. I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but I know Dave and I have had moments when someone's talking and it's like, oh yes, you know, you have that moment where something that someone else has said,
another penny drops.
And it's like,
then the
I
penny
can
drops.
see that now. I see how that connects to that, and it's that kind of journey that people have to be on. And hopefully, we can give them the one thread that then takes them, and they want to know more, and they go to YouTube to seek more, or they start to want to talk to people, whatever it ends up being. But we just want Truth Talks to be another platform where people can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we like to help people as much as we can. So this is just part of that offering.
But it is definitely taking your power back. You know, we have to take our power back. We have to be in control of our own lives, because
a lot of people don't want to take their power back, though. You know, that's the trouble.
Because it's scary. Because we believe that
actually
the
made a whole society not responsible for itself. Always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I'm dog sitting at my sister's pub, and Amber the Vanbrugh is pining to go out for a pee-pee. I'm going to love you and leave you. It's been epic. My first hangout. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Brilliant. Many more to come. I love you all, and I'll see you at Truth Talks. If not, Hyde Park. Love you.
Bye.
Brilliant. Thank you. Good luck. Kosmic Kat.
Nice.
Oh, she's gone.
Yeah. Well,
she's going.
I want to say thank you for having me on, because it's I've really enjoyed chatting. So.
You'll have to come on. You know, you and Kosmic Kat will have to come on our ladies' night.
Yeah. You know, that's an area that I'm on my own personal journey in terms of some of the divine feminine stuff. You know, I've learned a lot, and I'm learning more about that area. So I'd love to have a girly chat, because I think us women have a very important role to play, and I don't mean in the sort of hardcore feminist, you know, let's hit the men over the head kind of a way, but more in the soft power. you know, I think we have very important
Well, we
roles
did really
playing.
well today, Andrea. It was equal. There was 4 girls and 4 boys today.
Yeah,
and right now, it's about the same. No, there's more girls than boys. It doesn't happen very often. It's usually, you know, like the hangouts we have is men are on that hangout.
Yeah, well,
you know, it's good.
I think that we just we need to strike the balance with the masculine and the feminine, and you know, it's not about fighting our way forward. It's about coming together. So yeah, we just need to all put our heads together and hopefully find that harmony. So
and you're at the beginning of this as well, aren't you? So you've got all the hope in the world.
Yeah.
And Sun and Moon, much love and everything for the meetups, and I hope they just get bigger and bigger each month.
Yeah, us
but
too.
Thank you so
us
much.
too. Yeah, I hope that they do, and just watch the space. It's exciting times.
Really good.
It's been nice chatting with all of you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been lovely to connect actually with you, Dave, because I've always seen you on. Do you remember, like back in the, you know, back a few months ago when the Globe Live tours were coming into your hangouts and just watching the, you know. So it's nice to connect, you know, visually. I'm sure we'll meet as well at some point.
I look forward to that.
Happens, you know.
Yeah, I look forward to that. Thanks for.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, this is like online date. It's like online dating. You eventually have to meet in person.
Yeah.
You got to feel the person's energy.
Yeah, but we're keen to collaborate on, you know, putting together some event or more than one event. You know,
festival one day.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be rocking. I want to be rocking out some tunes to some like-minded people.
Cool. That sounds very cool.
Well, we're starting to generate a little bit of noise. You know, it's just tiny. It's a tiny amount of noise, but it's enough for us to feel like we should be doing more than just waiting for the odd event to come around. You know, it felt like I went along to the 2018 conference in Birmingham and felt like it was a long wait when it was originally announced to get to the actual conference itself. And the same again this year around. You know, great kudos to Robin for setting it all up. He's a fantastic organizer, and I'm sure it'll be well organized and hopefully well attended. And hopefully I'll speak there as well, actually. But I think that there is energy for more. And they don't have to be heavyweight big things at this point in time. I don't think we have to get ahead of ourselves.
Small, you know, stepping stones, you know. Early days.
So Andrea and I are, you know, putting that out there, and Cosmic and
really good. I wish you all the best with that. I wish you all the best of luck. Maybe one day if I ever, you know, I'm down in Greenwich and go back to my old.
Hopefully we'll be moving to other venues in time. You know, what we hope is that this will encourage other people to start their own truth talks of some sort in their areas. I know people are having meetups already.
Well, there are similar things going on here in Glastonbury. That, to be honest, there are things that do happen like that, and you can go and give talks. So there are things happening. It would be interesting to get it with the people that have the information that we're sharing. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. If it's meant to be, it will be. So
we would like to in time be sure that any sort of guest speaker was someone who at least had a good understanding of how flat Earth affected their area of expertise. Because until you've really recomputed your knowledge on a flat plane existence, then it's always got to be subject to question as to where has it been tampered with. I mean, even, you know, so, you know, you can't be sure anyway, but still, as a very minimum, you should expect people to know that in what we try and offer.
It is difficult, isn't it? Because when I think of where we are, I don't think of where we are because I don't know where we are, and I have no image in my head of where we are. But when I speak to somebody else, they're straight away instantly presuming they're on the ball. And it's really difficult to get them away from that first visual image in their mind. When I think of where we are, I really don't get an image of it anymore at all. I don't get an image of anything. You know, I don't associate the ball with where I live. I never really did, though. Never
Like
really
if they ever design a miniature town, if you've ever visited one as a child, a mini town where they've got a miniature port and a miniature this and a miniature that, it's all done on a flat thing. You know, it might have some mountains to it, or an area where water flows from a higher point to a lower point, but it's all a mini town is all done on a flat basis, on a base, you know, of a flat world. In the UK, a guy, I think it was ITV, some weather presenter, he used to hop on this massive foam cutout of the UK, and he'd in this they put it in a pool, they put it in harbors and so on, and basically it was putting, you know, the whole of the UK in a flat swimming pool. You know, the no curvature whatsoever, and you know, you can point to people. This all, that's how I see it. It's all, you know, that makes
but
sense
equally everywhere you go, everywhere, and especially in the children's clothing and books and movies
everything.
And everything, there's a ball everywhere.
Everything.
You know, our Alexander, we take him to this soft play area, just for his age group, so it's sort of 3 and under, and they've got
space programming,
UFO everywhere.
Even in dance music, right? The dance music labels, like even going back to like the rave days and now moving forward to nowadays, the dance music labels and some of the logos and some of the images you've got astronauts, you've got space, you've got tracks called Asteroid, Rocket Blast Off. There's this, even within all of the industries, there's this constant bombardment.
Drum beat.
And this is where I want to change that with my brother and a few others. We're trying to change the names, the wording. We want to start getting some flat earth type stuff coming out in the electronic music world, you know, because there's so much pushing of the globe within that now, you know.
When you think on that topic then, Nicolas, when you think about that, you think they've got a longer term agenda than just 2020. You know, things have to be for this generation of youngsters to be inculcated with the idea that UFOs are coming and so on. Then they must be expecting them in 10 and 20 years' time to be the victims of some perpetration, some hoax. So for me, it feels like there's still many years of unraveling of whatever game they've got going on, because they're so deeply invested in it, and it's so deep through every part of everything. So you know, I'm not,
but people are also unknowingly fueling it. People are so indoctrinated, they do not realize it. So a lot of these people are not intentionally pushing it. They don't even know what they're doing.
Yes, I mean, and a child and a young teacher pushing a 7-year-old, 6-year-old child to be excited about being an astronaut one day. I mean, who can fault her for encouraging that child to think big and become a rocket scientist? You know.
Well, I used to work in an infant school, and when I can't think of the name. What's that? ISS. Tim Peake. You know, he did a speech from the ISS, and the school went into shutdown, and we all had the TVs up in the classroom. I was in an infant school, so I was from the 4-year-old to 7-year-old, and everybody sat, and they were all just in awe of this man. You know, he's
how could he do that?
Spaceman, and he's and they were all just sitting there eating, lapping up every word that he was saying. So it's it's
horrifying,
alive,
isn't
and
it?
and to be fair, the teachers are doing it with all the right intentions. You know, they think they're educating the children on this very current, important, you know.
Be proud of our British achievement.
Momentous achievement. So, you know, it's done in good
There's a
faith.
massive picture of Tim Peake at Gatwick. I think it's Gatwick Airport. As you walk into Gatwick Airport, you know, welcome to Gatwick by Tim Peake. It's as huge as this massive wall. What a frightening sight that is.
I keep seeing his book everywhere, and all the charity shops I go past, I keep seeing his book in the window.
Now, Tim Peake was my first. I was deep enough into Flat Earth to go, when he was up there, I watched his flip on TV when he did the ITV thing. I watched that live, and I could see the harnesses, and that I did a little thing on it, you know, and I showed a friend, and I was like, look at these harnesses, man. That's almost 3 years ago, and the guy still doesn't talk to me. Because he just he wasn't buying it, and he still can't see it to this day. So this is why I know that there
it's
are
so
people,
obvious, isn't it? It's so obvious.
there are people
I
who
know,
just
but
won't.
it's
Going,
only
look,
obvious
they've chroma keyed it out, but they've missed a flipper. Look, it's underwater. There's a flipper.
Yeah, but it's only obvious if you've got eyes to see it, I think. And this is what I was saying earlier. You know, I think there has to be that level of acceptance that some people just they can't. They're blind.
They won't accept it.
You know what? The story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is perhaps the story of us, you know, and that there are all these there's all these entertainments and excitements and things that can attract you, you know, space and Mars and, you know, that porn, as I often say, and and we're, I think, meant to take the temperance, the path of temperance, like Charlie does, you know. A little bit of chocolate is fine, but you know, going the whole hog and diving into the
middle way.
Yeah. And this is what we're striving for.
Yeah, we're all striving for that middle way, aren't we? Trying to get it balanced, you know?
I think so. Finally, I mean, it's taken me a long time to figure that out, you know, because and still, you know, I'll get people coming to me wanting to, let's go fight. You know, let's go fight this. So that's putting a negative or positive energy into the system, and where a system in which, when we were talking earlier on about things that we don't like and it's negative and so on. Well, if we think of this as an electrical system, then it's going to have to have a negative side and a positive charge.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, sometimes in a system like this, the negative charge may become overcharged.
Yes.
But that will cause an arcing and a return to balance. So that's really what I think we have to experience, is that we have to have this negative arcing, and then perhaps we go through a period where we have an extreme positive, and people are so nice to each other that you can't get any shit done because they, you know, and so then maybe that cracks.
It's almost
again.
like you have to have that negative aspect, like you're saying. It's for people like us to feel the rub, you know. It's to make us really not want to be like that, you know.
I think that's also where your growth happens. That's where your soul growth happens. So it isn't necessary. It feels wrong when you're witnessing it happening to other people, but unfortunately, I think some of it, you know, whether it's been taken advantage of or manipulated, or there's entities that are
makes me feel quite sad, actually. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
But no, if there's dark, you know, energies that are you know, taking advantage of that. I don't know, but I know that duality is necessary, and it's the balance. It's the yin and the yang. It's the, you know, and it's not easy when you're the one going through the negative stuff, or you're witnessing someone that you care about going through it. But yeah, unfortunately, it is.
Well, maybe it is a nice way of or a better way of looking at it is like a school for your soul.
School playground.
And it's almost like it needs to be maintained, you know. And I hate to say this, but you know, it might be that we one day find out that if the system wasn't maintained, then it wouldn't unfurl in the way that it's meant to unfurl.
No, I agree.
Because as much as we dislike the awful things, and I've had my little part to play in a war, you know, that go on in the world, then I think that
you've had a very interesting experience as far as that's concerned, you know.
Yeah, but actually, if all things have happened for the reason, then even the Freemasons and all the Illuminati and all that have happened for a reason, to bring the human story to a point.
But it's so multi-layered, isn't it? You can't pinpoint it at one thing or the other, because it's all coming from mind.
Yes. Where exactly, and this is where you got to separate it. I think is that there is the 3D, which is where the negative sits, I think, and then there's then there's the higher vibration stuff. And, you know, and I think we must all remember that we're here to have an experience as well. And part of that should be finding your bliss, finding your, you know, finding some joy. And that you have to do when you remain present, because if you're worrying about the past or worrying about the future, then, you know, you're forgetting the ride. And, you know,
and it's tough, you know, because we are trapped in this physical, limited body that has problems, and this system, we have to work within the system whether we like it or not, you know, at the moment. And gradually, slowly, things will change. And hopefully they are. Well, they are. You can see it.
Well, I think
it's us. It's changing from within. It's us. It's us.
Yeah,
it's the people.
So it's going inward. Well, you know, we have everything we need. We've just when we were brought here, our egos believe that it's all external, everything that we need, including the authority or the rules or telling us how to live, is external, and it's
we've externalized everything. We've been made to externalize everything,
and it's actually and it's an inside job. It's an inside job.
We've done it to ourselves.
We have.
Basically.
We have. And there's a group of people that have taken full advantage of that fact and commandeered the farm.
Yeah. But now we realize that actually we can speak, and we can't. We have the opportunity to speak, and some say we will lose that. Through YouTube and so on. We're trying to set up a website at the moment called Authentic Path. Trying to set that up to kind of have somewhere else to take the truth talks as well, so that we can continue to exist offline or away from YouTube if we need to. But shit, I lost my thread there, honey.
Well, don't matter. It's probably
trying to survive on different platforms and make something of it and make it grow and make it continue, you know.
Yeah, make it continue and express, expand it beyond, beyond what it is, where we are at the moment. Because we have to know that we for some reason have been placed here. Well, it just feels for me like this has happened for a reason. I was, if you've heard any of my story, I was an atheist 4 years ago.
I have, man. I followed your channel quite, a lot
closely. Okay, so and for those that may be listening still, I was totally anti God. I cried when Christopher Hitchens died, when I learned that he died, when I was doing my research, and so I was like, so anti anything like that. And now to be at this point now, I know that this was designed, and
absolutely
we were meant to get to a point to do something much more than just get together with a few pals online and slap each other's backs about how good we feel about things. I think that we have a role to play, and that if humanity is to drag itself out of the Sodom and Gomorrah pit that it is currently finding itself in, and I don't point fingers, I'm just saying, that's the truth and the reality of it.
Well, it's apocalypse of mind, isn't it? People have externalized everything and made it so physical externally and turned it into these sort of physical demons, if you want to call it that. And it's not that at all.
No, it's not that. But no. I mean, we've demonized a whole
but
bunch
the illusion is quite clever.
Yeah.
And so,
it is.
It's quite clever,
It's very clever. It's very clever.
Yeah, it's very clever. The game is very clever.
But as people come awake, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go for help, advice, sort of some pointers and stuff like that? Because, most of us have just come out of the dark blinded, and the lights have been turned on and we don't know exactly where to look. Well, it's nice to have a helping hand, say, hey, listen.
That's why we've all got to be doing our inner work, because then you become this beacon, and people will seek you out.
Be drawn to you like a lighthouse.
Yeah.
And we need these lighthouses, Truth Talk lighthouses all over the plane. It's not just a one in Greenwich for sure. It's about other, as you say, there are.
Well, individual people are being their own truth talks. It's just someone you bump into, hey, and sometimes it's not even about telling them a truth. It's just about giving them some kindness. because that can, that one interaction can change someone's day, moment, and those are the things that are just as important. So yeah, we got to shine that light, and you have to do that by going and doing.
Andrea, I agree.
Yeah, do your inner work,
do your music.
But I'm gonna say good night now, because
me too.
I have a little boy that tomorrow morning will want me to shine my light.
Yeah.
Okay, can I suggest that we say goodbye on air now, because we have been going for a couple of 2.5 hours, but we just say goodbye to each other off air who's here. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, chat room. It's been a really great, positive hangout. And wish the Truth Talks well. Cosmic Kat is in the chat room. So good luck. And thank you so much, chat room. And also, obviously, thank you to Martin, Lee, Kat, Patricia, Nicolas, Dave, Trinity4, and Andrea. Is that everybody? Yeah, thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
It's been really, really nice.
Patricia, sorry, I didn't say Patricia.
You did. It was like a food you didn't mention.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I don't know. I weren't listening as usual. Only joking. Yeah. I just want to say, while I've got a chance, while I've muted the telly, that I love you all, and it's been fantastic. I've enjoyed every minute listening to you all. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you,
everybody.
And just to play out, do you two? I'm sorry, not finished. Carry on.
Sorry. And everyone in the chat room, I love you too. There, you can talk now, Karen.
Yeah, chat room. Astral's just turned up in the chat room. Hi, Astral. Dave, before we go, do you want to explain your meeting, just so that it's at the end of this hangout?
Oh, yeah. Truth Talks is the last Thursday of every month at the Vanbrugh pub. The doors open at 6 o'clock. It's free entry. The talks will get going from about 7 o'clock.
So this one's the 27th.
This one's on the 27th of November.
Yeah.
And it will.
December.
Sorry, 27th of December, and we will be having an open mics by invitation. We're also giving away some complimentary fluoride-free toothpaste to the first 20 through the door. That's compliments of Adam Meakin. Thank you very much from Iron Realm Media.
Nice one, Adam.
Yeah. It's last Thursday of the month, Truth Talks, and
last Thursday of the year. Last Thursday of the year. So we hope you will come along, just even just to make a connection.
Listen, most of you will have had arguments with your family over Christmas Day, Boxing Day. So on the next day, the 27th of December, come and chill out with some friends who know the earth is flat. And what more could you want than that?
Yeah. What more could you want than that?
Are you going to stream it at all, or is this for the people going there?
Pardon me?
Oh,
you're going to film
screen this?
Oh, yeah. Well, my friend Daryl from Kill the Beast is going to be doing some filming.
There'll be a bit of live as well.
That'll be put on later afterwards, a few days later, I think. But we'll do some live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully Roxanne will come. If Roxanne comes, that'll be brilliant, because she could
cool.
knock up some live action for us. So we'll do some live, and we'll improve the lighting. I know Kat was going to help us with that, and hopefully the audio as well. It's gonna be a work in progress. I'm sure we'll get better as we go through the process.
But we just look forward to anybody who can make it, and obviously we understand that it's in Greenwich and that's not possible for everyone. And so hopefully, in the coming months we'll be able to spread that out a little bit and have something somewhere else. But
we have a website called authenticpath.co.uk. We're just building it at the moment.
Yeah. Which will have a whole lot of,
with the help of Kimmy and Bob Spreadborough.
Yeah.
And so we will put more info on that. So hopefully in time, if you're hearing this in any time in the new year of 2019, then we'll be up and running with that website.
Hey, that's really positive stuff. We look forward, and of course you want to come back to Sun and Moon after a Flatmas Day, so talk about your other thing that you want to talk about. Can I just say that yesterday was Jin's first hangout. Yesterday, today was Cosmic Kat's first hangout, and it was very nice meeting you as well, Andrea.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, really nice.
Really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a very truthful 2019.
Absolutely.
Here we come. Here we come.
Here we come.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Thanks very much. Night, everyone.
Thank you so much, chat room. Everybody that's been and stayed, because some of the names have been there, the whole hangout. Mwah. And again, everybody on the panel. Mwah. And see you after the weekend.